All right, got the usual brake tapping this time of day trying to get home. It is especially heavy if you are eastbound 24 from 440, northbound 65 up to the South Loop. Trying to get through that construction on 65 northbound through Goodlettsville. Heck, the slowdown starts in Madison. And I'm seeing a little bit of red on 24 eastbound if you are just past Pleasant View trying to get to downtown Nashville. Something's going on there. Not sure exactly what it is, but it's slow going there. 24 eastbound, just past Pleasant View, north of downtown. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The things I put up with to do this radio show. It says 7 minutes after 3. Happy to have you with us. I'm going to try to plow through the opening monologue segment of the Matt Murphy Radio Show today in the face of adversity. In the face of adversity. You know, sometimes we play a game. We rarely play this game right at the beginning of the show. But occasionally we'll play a game, and it's called The Last Thing Matt Heard Before He Came Back on the Radio. The last thing that I heard before we came back on the radio today, as I sat here getting ready for the show, was someone in my ear telling me that they could see my nipples through my shirt. And it was not Ken Weaver. Ken Weaver is back in News Closet B. He doesn't even wear a shirt back there. He gathers headlines for a living and delivers them twice an hour when it breaks. What's up, Brother Weaver?
You never know when you might have to wrestle somebody.
Well, fair.
And you want to do that bareback.
Human being. Oh, I was going to say human being or a bear or some other another one of God's creatures, you know?
Well, it gives you an advantage, especially when you're hairy like me.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? I feel like that beautifully coiffed, lengthy goatee could be an impediment during the wrestling.
No, that's as long as my opponent follows the rules and doesn't pull my beard.
Yeah, yeah. There's only one rules. There's only one. Are we mud wrestling?
If we're mud wrestling, then no beard pulling even in mud wrestling.
Okay, well, I feel like there's really only one rule in mud wrestling. There's no rules in mud. What is it? What?
I
don't know about all that.
You hop in some mud and start wrestling.
I don't know. I plead the fifth. I brought in a fifth.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see that?
You gonna take a drink of it?
Maybe. You never know. You know what? Every time someone pleads the fifth, I'll pull from the fifth. How about that? That make everybody happy?
Dude, you're going to be wasted.
I will be
after
wasted.
Today.
I am very excited. One of our wonderful sales associates brought this by to me and said that she had a great conversation with a company called Nashville Distillery. Mm-hmm. And this is the second batch that they're making of 4547 Patriot Edition American whiskey. And she said that was presented to me by the ownership of the company, and hopefully we'll be talking about those fellows a little more lengthy periods of time in the near future. In other words, we're thinking about doing a little partnership there.
Well, there you go.
How about that?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool. So I'm appreciative of that, and thank you so much. And you know what? It's apropos today, as there was a lot of talk about the fifth earlier on Capitol Hill.
That's right.
Yeah, a lot of talk about the fifth. I've got a different kind of fifth here in the studio with us, but Anthony Fauci was taking the fifth quite a bit earlier today. We obviously will break this down for you over the course of the afternoon. I would invite you to just go on over to the Super Talk television side of things. Maybe do a, hey, Jackson, based on the nastiness that you put into my ear right before the show began, I think it might merit a YouTube chat poll.
You can't see it on YouTube.
What do you mean you can't see it on YouTube?
The light hits it differently on YouTube than my view.
Yeah, see, that just sounds like a guy that's lying, doesn't it, everyone? I can see your nipples. Oh, nobody else can, but I can.
Ken, what do you think?
I just do the news, boys.
So that's a confirm.
There you go.
Not trying to look at people's nipples. No, sir. The only nipple I looked at is one on the bottle.
Weaver.
And it better be good what comes out of it.
Hey, WC Weaver, while we're over there,
Yes, sir.
what is the cost of going over there to Talk TV and liking and subscribing for us?
Absolutely nothing, boys. Yeah.
Nothing. Cost you nothing to go over there to Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. And you can see for yourself, I'm wearing a white linen shirt. You know, the funny thing is I started to wear an undershirt underneath the white linen shirt, and I decided that it was too blasted hot to do so. And the first thing that Jackson tells me, or at least the last thing that Jackson tells me, is that he can see my nips. I don't want to be nipping out around here.
Is it cold in there?
Making me self-conscious there, Jackie. One way or the other, you go over to Talk TV. I think it merits a poll, but whatever. Jackson's in control of the YouTube poll. 615-737-9986. You're in control of that. You can call the show or get us up on the super text line any time of your choosing. Any questions that you might have, any commentary that you might have, I absolutely love turning a monologue into a dialogue, or if there's two of you, a dialogue into a trialogue. It is Wednesday, July 29, in the year of our Lord 20 and 26. It is episode 1085 of our gatherings together, and I thank you for every single one of them, almost every single one of them at least. iHeart, TuneIn, Spotify, our own app, Talk TV, we mentioned that. Join us on any of those platforms, and of course, we're always on the FM dial at 99.7 FM. I got roped into calling Nashville's morning news this morning, fellas.
Uh-oh. What happened?
You know, Mandis, it had to do with the Amish, Ken. So Mandis was very confused how it was during the, what do they call it? The thing that the crisscross.
The crisscross handoff.
Is that what they call it?
I think so.
Okay.
Or it's just the crisscross.
The crisscross handoff. Where Chris and Dan talk amongst themselves at about 8:35. It's a great segment on Nashville's Morning News. We absolutely love it here on the Murphy Show. And I happened to be listening as Hand erroneously reported the breakdown regarding the Amish. Hand has decided that he's anti-Amish, which I think he's late to the party. I mean, I've been anti-Amish for a while now because they're the only, two main groups of people that you can that you can wag your finger at and just talk about with impunity, the Amish and the deaf, because what are they going to do? They're not listening to the radio. So you used to could say that on the radio side, but now, you got Talk TV and all of that. Anyway, Dan was very confused as to why Ms. Bonnie was upset at me, and I was trying to explain it. And Chris, of course, was, that Chris Hand. You got to watch that Chris Hand.
You got to watch that. You got to watch out for Brother Chris Hand.
You got to watch that Chris Hand. Chris Hand will troll you.
He's a master.
He's a master troller, and so I had to call and say, Mandis, you're getting trolled, and then Mandis doesn't know what trolling is, and then it kind of goes from there. So. But I love my Amish friends over there in Summertown and in Lawrence County and all points in between. Y'all are wonderful people, and we love your maters, and we love your veggies, and don't stop doing what you're doing, and pay the taxes that you're supposed to pay, and don't pay the taxes you're not supposed to pay. But, so I got roped into the morning activities this morning, which was a lot of fun.
Well, you can't really help it, Brother Murphy, because it's like you said, if they mention your name 3 times, it's like a genie coming out of a bottle.
If I hear my name 3 times on the morning show, then I am morally, legally, and ethically obligated to call in. I've got to do so. It's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
But they're welcome to call us as well, 615-737-9986. We got lots to discuss. All right, so let's talk a little about what happened earlier today. Anthony Fauci, and I'm going to try to present this as straightforward and as calmly as possible. Anthony Fauci is the physical manifestation of everything I hate about what our government has become. Anthony Fauci is the physical manifestation of the smug, elitist, holier than thou, better than you, smarter than you bureaucracy that exists in Washington, D.C. Anthony Fauci believes that if all of you dumbasses would have just listened to him, everything would have been just fine. Anthony Fauci, in the midst of that smug, elitist, pompous attitude, lied repeatedly to the American people over a series of years about the most important of issues, literally life and death issues. And he lied about it repeatedly. And he has now been caught red-handed. And the reason that he was caught red-handed was because of his arrogance, because of his narcissism, because of his God complex. He could not help himself but to keep copious notes, day-to-day notes, private notes that he kept on government computers. He kept in a government format, which is why we had access to them. Make no mistake, this isn't Anthony Fauci's little private diary that he had a key to that was around his neck, and he would unlock the key. And I think Joey said hello to me today in fifth period, and that I think Joey likes me, but Joey won't say that he likes me because Sarah and Joey go to the prom. Or in this case, the sixth grade dance. No. He was writing this down in a, quote, official capacity, but these were for his eyes only and his memory only. At least he thought that would be the case as he was preparing to write a book or a number of books where he would present himself as the hero of the situation. This is the way that Anthony Fauci thinks of himself. I'm certain that most of the evildoers around the globe over the course of human history have thought themselves to be good doers as well, and they weren't. Anthony Fauci is the epitome of what's wrong with our government. And I'm sad to report to you that Anthony Fauci is never going to serve any time in jail. Anthony Fauci is never going to see his comeuppance, not in this life, perhaps in the next. I believe that Anthony Fauci is not indirectly, directly responsible for the death of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. And that is strictly based on the testimony that he has delivered over the years, the lies that he told in the beginnings of the COVID-19 pandemic, and how he doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on those lies, how he would tell one lie one day and another lie the other day, and then pretend like the two lies were not in conflict with one another. Anthony Fauci, as you now well know, pleaded or pled. Can I believe either's correct? Strike that. Can I believe either's correct?
Yes.
Pleaded or pled, right? We could do either.
I believe you can use both.
Either. Okay. I'm going to go pled. He pled the fifth well over 100 times, 111 times today. Why? Well, to protect his ass. And it's not to protect himself from perjury charges. Let's be really clear. He did so to protect his ego, to protect his narcissism, to protect his, quote, reputation, or what he thinks his reputation is on this day, July 29, 2026. And let me explain this. Anthony Fauci was given what is being referred to as a blanket pardon by Joe Biden. And that had a period of time set to it, and I can look up the days. But he is pardoned for what he did from here to here. So all of the testimony that he delivered before Congress is covered under this blanket pardon. Everything he said to the mainstream media, everything he said publicly, everything he said privately, all of these things, they are covered by the blanket pardon. But what Anthony Fauci can't do is he cannot continue to lie before Congress now because he's not covered by that blanket pardon now. That pardon had an end date, and that end date was the date that the auto pen signed to the pardon. Now, one can argue that the auto pen signing the pardon in and of itself disqualifies the pardon, and I understand that argument. We can go down that route if we want. But today was about protecting himself from a reputational standpoint. His narcissism and his ego, even to this second, even given the amount of people that I believe he is responsible for killing, he can't tell the truth. Anthony Fauci, had he sat down before the committee today and told the truth, would have been charged with nothing. There is nothing that Rand Paul or anyone else on that committee or any law enforcement official on the federal level can do to charge Anthony Fauci with those lies that he told at that time. But what he can't do is lie now. So he's left with two choices. Three, actually. You either tell the same story that you told back then to the assembled committee members, and we now know back then you were telling a lie. And so if you say it now, you can be charged with perjury because you've sworn to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's option one, to double down on the lie and risk yourself at perjury. Number two, you can plead the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America, saying that on the advice of your attorney that you're going to plead the Fifth against the concept of self-incrimination. That's another option. Or number three, the one that you could have done, you could have stepped up to the committee and said, you know what, I'm sorry. I said some things that I now know weren't true, and I need to correct the record, and here's the truth about all of this. And if you did that, you would have gotten into no trouble. Except that we would all know you for what you are. And don't we know that anyway? I don't mean to get too spiritual on the radio show right now, but I'm going to tell you that if I'm Anthony Fauci at 85 years of age, I don't fear a jail cell necessarily, because you really shouldn't. I don't fear an orange jumpsuit. I would fear the depths of hell if I was Anthony Fauci. And that would be my consideration, is to clean that out so as to better prepare myself to meet my maker. But I doubt that Anthony Fauci believes in a God outside of himself. We'll discuss today what he said and what he didn't say. We'll discuss what the lies were then and what they are now as we roll through the show today. We've got other matters to discuss. Flock cameras on the docket. Marcia is big mad about big pharma ads that are running, including an AI piece that I finally found. We talked about this yesterday. Hey, Cameron Sexton, is Cameron Sexton the most powerful person in Tennessee from a political standpoint? I think I can make the argument that he is. He has endorsed in the 6th Congressional District, where he also lives. We'll talk about that endorsement coming up as well. You on the phones, of course, at 615-737-9986. It's 24 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. I've got a telephone number for you for Contours LLC. Simply put, you got to make the call. You got to make the call, and that's really it. You make the call to Contours LLC, and Keith and his team will help walk you through the process, and it's a pretty good one. Contours is giving you an opportunity to look your best in the end of the summer months into the fall. There are success stories after success story after success story that I can tell you about. You've heard me talking about their red light technology that's helping reduce stubborn belly fat, but I want to tell you about another application of their patented red light technology. My friend Keith got me talking about my face, and specifically those lines on either side of your mouth and the crow's feet lines. Pretty deep. We had some wrinkles on the forehead, bags under the eyes. I didn't like the way that I always looked tired. Well, we're working on those bags. Keith challenged me to get my face in order, and I'm doing some facial work now, and I'll let you know what the results are. But I'm very, very excited about it early on. Friends, facial treatments work. These Belly Buster specials, they work. You can learn more by calling the number that I'm about to give you and talking to Keith and his team today. 615-236-9960. $99 Belly Buster special for the first 10 people that call. $99 for that special. Make the call. 615-236-9960. 615-236-9960 or online at ContoursLLC.com. Contours. Go see them today. If you suffer from chronic, red, irritated, dry eyes, do not feel like you're alone. You're not alone. 1 in 8 Americans suffer, and that number grows by the day. We're finding out more and more all the time what causes it. You've maybe seen some commercials for new drugs on television that you can't pronounce. Pardon me, I just had to sneeze. My friend, Dr. Catherine Beckman, has opened up a clinic, and I want to tell you all about it. And as a matter of fact, my wife, Erica, has already gone to the clinic because she has been affected by dry eyes for a long time. Beckman Dry Eye Institute is located over on Mallory Lane in Cool Springs. Her clinic solely focuses on patients with dry eye issues. It is technically called something, it's called ocular surface disease, ocular surface disease. She sees patients every day that have damaged the front of their eyes or their glands don't produce tears. The damage to the surface of the eye from overwearing contact lenses is also something that happens. There's a million different reasons, but the bottom line is this. Her clinic is different in that this is what she does. She does not, give you an annual eye exam. She doesn't do contacts or glasses. She focuses on dry eye and the irritation that comes with it. If you suffer from dry eyes and nothing is working, you got to get to the root of the problem. Schedule online at BeckmanDryEyeInstitute.com or call them today, 629-239-3161, 239-3161. Tell them that I sent you. Your initial consultation and visit is less than $150. What do you have to lose but the suffering from your chronic dry eyes?
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes, and the Federal Reserve voting to keep interest rates right where they're at for now. The vote, 9-3, described by Fed Chair Kevin Warsh as a good family fight, given that 3 of the people on the board wanted interest rate hikes. Interest rates have been on the upswing since the Fed last met, which led to speculation that the Fed would raise rates. But Warsh, in a news conference after the decision, says other economic indicators point to a resilient economy. There is speculation the Fed could raise rates during its September meeting if trends continue. Rand Paul has set a vote for contempt of Congress against Dr. Anthony Fauci, who refused to answer questions during today's COVID hearing of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee of the U.S. Senate.
I've recommended before for his criminal prosecution, and neither the Biden DOJ nor the Trump DOJ have taken it up. All I can do is recommend prosecution. I can't initiate a prosecution.
So Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment 111 times. And while President Biden preemptively pardoned Fauci on Biden's last day in office, that clemency would not protect Fauci if he was accused of lying to Congress. He has denied wrongdoing, claims he's being vindictively targeted for his role in the pandemic response. And President Trump now pledging intense retaliation after Iran fired on U.S. assets in the region. Saudi Arabia and the U.S. retaliated by launching strikes on Iranian assets in Iraq. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
This was a surprise attack overnight by Iran aimed at U.S. military forces in the region. The president now is vowing to retaliate. He told Fox News today, "We'll be hitting them hard." He said they're going to get a beating. He also used expletives to describe what he might do next.
Meanwhile, according to Defense Department documents reviewed by ABC News, traumatic brain injuries are the most common injuries U.S. service members have received while engaged in the Iran war. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got the brake tapping building northbound North Loop. That starts even before you get to the North Loop. If you are eastbound on 40 west of downtown, eastbound 24 is like a parking lot sometimes after 440. We do have a crash in Hermitage at Lebanon Pike, just east of Fessler's Lane. Also at East Nashville, Gallatin Pike, south of Greenland Avenue. Then 12th Avenue, south of Edge Hill Avenue. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. Jeff Eddy and his team are ready for you. Is your AC ready to last out through the summer? If you have noticed that something seems to be going wrong with the AC and you're just trying to get through this summer, I don't blame you. I would want to get through the summer as well. Now, we've got a considerable amount of time left where it's going to be very hot. I mean, obviously, August is just right around the corner, and then there's September, and in Tennessee, October gets blazing hot as well. You need to make sure that you're running as good as you can. Jeff Eddy is here for you every step of the way. Go to efficienthvac.net, efficienthvac.net to find out more. You can also make a call. I'll give you that number in just a moment. Jeff Eddy or one of his teammates will get right out to you. They'll figure out what's going on with your AC. They'll figure out the easiest and most cost-effective way to solve it and to fix it permanently without having to worry about it again over the summer period. And frankly, they'll tell you when it's time to replace the unit. And if it is, you'll know that they're telling you the straightforward truth about your AC. Go to efficienthvac.net or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for our friends at Efficient. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So Anthony Fauci testifies, or actually doesn't testify, before the assembled Senate committee today. That committee was assembled to try to get to the bottom of the truth of what went down over the course of the COVID era in America and around the globe. Anthony Fauci is a liar. He has lied repeatedly regarding his role and responsibility in all of that, and he lied repeatedly to the American people in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and beyond. We now know that, particularly based on his own writings. Anthony Fauci told us that he pushed us in the direction of wet market, bat meat. He knew that wasn't true. How do you think we would have reacted if in March of 2020, Anthony Fauci had stepped forward to a microphone and said, here's what we know so far, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that don't understand how all of this works, let me explain what gain of function research is. Let me explain that in the mid-2010s, we stopped doing gain of function research in the United States of America. And the National Institutes of Health and the Centers for Disease Control, they did not abide by the rules and regulations as set forth by our elected politicians, in as much as we got around it by moving money overseas and continuing gain of function research over there. We were told that we could no longer do it here in the United States of America, and we decided to do it in other nations. Oddly, inexplicably, we chose to do it in China at the Wuhan Virology Lab. We funded many of the gain of function research projects that were going on over there, and we now believe that one of those projects, either intentionally or unintentionally, got out of control and the virus was sadly released from the lab. This has nothing to do with bat meat. It has nothing to do with a wet market. It has everything to do with those of us who were trying. Gain of function research, for what it is worth, is a very dangerous thing, but I understand why they want to do it. Don't you? So if I know that if one, how do I explain this? If I believe that there is a possibility of something happening and I can game plan it out and I can role play it out and I can figure out how it would happen and exactly what it would look like, that would give me a better opportunity to plan my reaction to that thing happening. Make sense? So with that in mind, they're playing fast and loose with viruses, and they're trying to get viruses to move from animals to human beings in the confines of a laboratory. And if they make that happen in that way, they know how that virus would then react in human beings. And then they have a better ability to try to figure out what to do in case that should happen in the wild. Now, we can argue whether or not we should be playing God along those lines at all. But what you cannot argue is that in the face of telling the truth about all this, Anthony Fauci decided to lie to the American people and lie to the rest of the world. And he leaned on this idea that it was a wet market. We now know that he knew that wasn't the case. We thought that we knew that wasn't the case, and we now know that Anthony Fauci is a liar. Do you think that the American people and the rest of the globe would have reacted differently had he told the truth in March of 2020 or April of 2020, as opposed to doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on the lies told? I believe so. And, and that isn't even getting into the mandates and the manipulation of the American people and the work that he did with the mainstream media trying to foster and further a narrative that was not true. And here in July of 2026, all we want is for someone to be held to account. And I don't think Anthony Fauci is going to be held to account, except that we now know the truth and we know him truly what he is. I'm fascinated with the amount of liberals that can't own up to the idea that they were duped. Donald Trump did. I mean, Donald Trump fell into this too. Donald Trump got duped too. I mean, most of us did. I mean, we wanted to look to an expert at some point down the road. When COVID broke out, we wanted to find an expert that we could trust. And with very few exceptions, people were like, oh, well, this is the guy that heads up the National Institutes of Health. I mean, he's the science guy, right? Who knew how political he was? Who knew what a God complex he had? Chris is first up on the Matt Murphy Show today. Hello, Chris. How are you?
How's it going, guys?
I'm doing great, Chris. Hope you are.
I think I disagree with your gain of function research statement only because I believe it was shut down because it was dangerous. And they were playing with stuff in order to get ahead of things, yes. But in a less regulated country than the United States. Careless leads to the spread, therefore. And then I want to get your opinion on what makes them any more valuable or more of a person to where they can get away with it and not answer questions, but a normal American committing mass murder would be demanded answers to questions.
Well, and I don't know if I indicated I was talking broadly about gain of function. I wasn't talking specifically about the Wuhan virology lab. I wouldn't trust the Chinese as far as I could throw them. So I would obviously not agree with any arrangement that the American government or the National Institutes of Health made with the Red Chinese. So if I said that inartfully, I apologize, Chris. I was just talking broadly about understanding why science might want to engage in gain-of-function research, not this particular case.
I understand that point as far as you want to get ahead of something like a flu breakout or something of that nature.
Right.
But there is back doors to that of what else is environmental or intake-wise as far as food that is on that dangerous chemical list that makes you more susceptible to natural occurring things in the air every day, like coronavirus that you breathe.
Right.
How many different varieties are there? So you tweak one little map inside that as far as it being from an animal and then being transferable to humans, very easy. But yeah, I do want to get your opinion on levels of a true person who wakes up the exact same way every day that everybody else can do one thing, but we are funding every bit of this in different levels and different aspects of corruption, so on and so forth. What gives them the right? Truly.
Well, I mean, I could easily,
with proof.
I could say that we do, but
we do, and we're normalizing it, and that's what needs to stop. All of it.
Yeah, Anthony Fauci, I mean, are you asking me what gives him the ability to plead the fifth?
With written proof, yes. It's in writing. They always say, if anyone happens to go to court, if it's in writing or video or audio, that is almost solid proof.
Well, sure, but you still, you are not compelled. I mean, I'm not defending Fauci here, but I'm not going to do that. But none of us would be. I actually don't believe that Fauci has the ability to plead the fifth in this case because of the pardon that Joe Biden gave him. I think because of the pardon, he has blanket immunity over the things that he did in the past, and that eliminates his ability to refuse to testify before Congress. And I think he should be held in contempt of Congress. And if that contempt of Congress charge is upheld, I think they need to refer that to the Department of Justice to arrest Anthony Fauci, which is the way that it ought to go. But,
100%.
In the American system of government, that even with a mountain of evidence in front of you, you will not be and cannot be compelled in the criminal proceeding to testify against yourself.
Well, in writing, and you've already made a statement, and maybe those reports or writings negated the fact of what your initial statement was that blanketed you for the pardon. I mean, would that not somewhat reverse?
I mean, yeah. If you're talking about in a criminal case, my understanding of criminal proceedings would be that they could obviously use all of that admissible in court against you to convict you. But what they can't do is to put you on the stand and compel you to testify against yourself or to testify really in any way in a criminal case charging you with a crime. You can just, no matter what you've said in the past, you can just clam up and say, I'm not going to talk, and nobody can make you.
Correct. I understand that.
And I think that's what Fauci's leaning
on. But on this level,
that's very no, Chris. Trust me, I'm as frustrated as you.
Step in, because they have the ability to do that. Step in and make an arrest, and we should hold him in a cell until he is proven that he's not guilty, just as they would do an American.
Well, we don't hold people in cells until they prove they're not guilty. In America, with documented proof. Well, no, I mean, you can arrest them, and I'm not necessarily against figuring out a way to do that. The pardon compounds the issue. And Chris, thank you for the call. We presume innocence until proven guilty, regardless of whether it's Fauci or Chris or Matt Murphy. We do that because in our system of justice, and people don't like hearing this, but it's true. In our system of justice, we would prefer that guilty people go free than innocent people go to jail. And that is the right way to do it. We would prefer that guilty people go free than innocent people go to jail. And because of that, it is presented to the prosecution the responsibility to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, it compounds the issue when it comes to Fauci and whatever criminal culpability. I mean, right now we're talking perjury, we're talking lying to Congress, we're talking these things. In order to prove what I believe in my heart of hearts, I believe that Anthony Fauci is directly responsible for the deaths of thousands and thousands of people based on his action, based on his lies, based on his inaction. That's a little more difficult to prove. And I don't think that there'll ever be an opportunity to prove it in a court of law. I believe it. What I believe and what I can prove, those are two different things, right? I mean, we learned that the other night from a few good men, right, Jackson? It's not about what I believe. It's about what I can prove. Huh?
I am choosing to assert my Fifth Amendment constitutional rights, and I decline to answer.
Is this because you talked about my nipples early on in the show?
I am going to decline to comment according to my Fifth Amendment rights.
Would you like a burger later?
I'm going to decline to comment under my Fifth Amendment rights of the Constitution.
I was going to take you to ML Rose and get us a burger later.
I'm going to decline
to
comment based on my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the Constitution.
Y'all, I thought an ML Rose burger would get him. It isn't about
I would like a hamburger.
Sir, you're now testifying. You can't pick and choose how you testify. They did get him on that, right? You can't give an opening statement and then clam up and refuse to testify later on. I also believe that Brown v. Walker prevents him from asserting his Fifth Amendment privilege because Brown v. Walker indicates that if you are granted immunity by the federal government, then you can't be granted said immunity and then clam up and claim Fifth Amendment privileges because Fifth Amendment privileges deal with self-incrimination, deal with you going to jail. Anthony Fauci already has blanket immunity for his actions taken during that period of time. And with that blanket immunity comes an inability to declare that you're not going to testify. Now, the only reason for him to do that would be to protect his quote-unquote reputation now as opposed to what he said then. If he was lying then, there's nothing they can do about it. If you're lying now, there is something that you can do about it. But as far as his responsibility for the deaths of people, I do not believe that we'll ever see a court date, nor will he ever be held responsible for any of that. And I do truly believe that he's responsible for these things. But once again, we deal in facts and we deal in what we can prove in a court of law and not what we believe to be true. It's 52 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. We need more of that in our lives, don't we? At Grace Point Healthcare, they believe in treating naturally whenever possible. Grace Point Healthcare is good like that, right? Grace Point treats the entire body with a comprehensive medical approach, getting to the root of the problem, not just treating the symptoms. If you feel, fatigued, if you feel weird, if you don't know what's going on, they're going to figure out what's going on and not just treat the symptoms of the problem. They're going to get to the root of the problem, which is one of the reasons they don't want the insurance companies anywhere near their medical examination rooms, which sadly, whether you know it or not, for the other guys, they're in there. They're making decisions about your treatment. It's all about what they'll cover and what they won't cover, which is why Grace Point Healthcare doesn't do it that way. They're a direct pay format. You can file with your insurance company for reimbursement after the fact. Bottom line is this: with the Smart Care plan, with the HSA being able to pay for that Smart Care plan through HSA, you don't have to come out of pocket on this, and you get better treatment options at Grace Point Healthcare. That's what we're talking about. 599-6868. 599-6868. Once again, tell them Matt Murphy sent you to modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way.
Fed Chair Kevin Warsh explains the decision not to raise interest rates today. COVID hearing in the Senate today, and it looks like Dr. Fauci could face a contempt of Congress charge. These stories and more coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Proud to have you with us on this Wednesday edition. Obviously, Cameron Smith coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Nincompoops coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. You on the phones at 615-737-9986. James is in Lebanon. Hello, James.
I'm going to carry on what you and the other guy was talking about, but I'm a diehard. I believe Trump red, but I'm going to say this. You may click me off. What we've seen today is the very reason that a lot of Republican Christians will not go and vote in the midterms. You've got a foreigner in the Congress that walks around with toilet paper on her head and has stole money from a state in our union. It's a proven fact. She's been behind it. She gets nothing done to her. You've got a senator.
Hey, James. I got music coming up, and I'm not cutting you off. I'm just putting you on hold. I want you to finish your thought on the other side of the news. Ken Weaver demands some news time here at the top of the hour, and we're going to give it to him. And James, you'll be. I'll get right back to you. Jake, I'll get to you. MC, your call as well. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Hour number 2 is about to start.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Federal Reserve voting to keep interest rates where they are for now. The vote 9-3. 3 members wanting a rate hike due to inflation on the upswing. But Chair Kevin Warsh in a news conference after the decision says other economic indicators point to a resilient economy.
Sure, we got some encouraging inflation data. I think at the meeting 42 days ago, I said something like 63 months of inflation above target. I didn't say 64, though the final calculation might be a close one. So we'll be watching inflation data over the period ahead. But I also don't want you to leave the misimpression that we're sort of breathlessly waiting that.
Yeah, there's speculation the Fed could raise rates during its September meeting if trends continue. COVID hearing in the U.S. Senate today.
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Yeah, Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee Chairman Rand Paul telling Fox News he set a contempt of Congress vote against Dr. Fauci for not answering questions, invoking the Fifth Amendment 111 times.
I've recommended before for his criminal prosecution, and neither the Biden DOJ nor the Trump DOJ have taken it up. All I can do is recommend prosecution. I can't initiate a prosecution.
So Paul says it's going to pass his committee when the vote is held, possibly as soon as next week, but he doesn't think it will have to go through the entire Senate in order to be presented to the Justice Department. And while President Biden preemptively pardoned Fauci on Biden's last day in office, that clemency would not protect Fauci if he was accused of lying to Congress. He's denied the wrongdoing, claims he is being vindictively targeted for his role in the pandemic response. And while speaking to reporters inside the White House this afternoon, President Trump vows the U.S. is preparing its response to the overnight missile attack from Iran, saying it is their turn.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, we got to smack them a little bit.
And the Senate unanimously approving a resolution expressing the Senate's belief that Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted co-conspirator of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, should not receive a presidential pardon or any form of clemency.
While the resolution itself is effectively toothless and lacks enforcement power, the unanimous vote serves as a kind of collective response from the Senate to a lingering issue that's cast a shadow on the confirmation of Todd Blanche. President Trump's nominee to serve as Attorney General. Blanche has faced criticism for interviewing Maxwell in prison last year, shortly before she was transferred to a minimum security federal prison camp in Texas. Trump himself has not signaled he plans to pardon Maxwell, though he's not categorically ruled out clemency. The resolution comes one day before the Senate Judiciary Committee is expected to vote on Blanche's nomination. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Let's run down that list of crashes we got, shall we? In East Nashville, we've got one with injury. Dickerson Pike at Trinity Lane. Also, Gallatin Pike south of Greenland Avenue. Creve Hall, a crash. Harding Place at Overcrest. And then Edge Hill, 12th Avenue South, just south of Edge Hill Avenue. It is complete stop and go, bumper-to-bumper brake tapping eastbound 440 over to 24. Slow going northbound 65 between 440 and the South Loop. And eastbound 24, sometimes you come into complete stops after 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy radio show. No, I did not. Many of you are watching the program and asking if I brought in a fifth to plead the fifth. That was not the case. I just so happened to get a fifth from these folks. I hope we do business together. This is nice. One of our wonderful sales associates. I used to refer to, hey, Ken, I used to call them sales weasels. I don't do that anymore. But yeah, this is awesome. If you're watching on Talk TV, 4547 Patriot Edition Premium American Whiskey. I can't wait to get my lips around that. But that fifth is not here because we are pleading the fifth on the Matt Murphy Radio Show today. No, those two things have nothing to do with one another. They are mutually exclusive. Hey, Jackson, young Jay Willie, are you still declining to participate in the broadcast today?
I decline to comment per my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the Constitution. And please don't do what you're about to do.
I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. I know how not to ruin a bit. But I am in a bind here. And I'm going to tell everybody at 6 o'clock. This is a professional tease. Y'all need to tune in at 6 o'clock because Matt Murphy's going to lose his mind. Because I'm being asked to lean on the angels of my better nature, Ken. And you know who's asking me to do that?
Who?
Jackson was.
Brother Jackson is?
I decline to comment in per my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the Constitution of these here United States.
Jackson, please clip Matt saying, I can't wait to get my lips around that. Jackson, you shall not do so. You shall not do so. Sally writes in and says, I like Donald Trump, but he's getting on my last nerve. I said, why? All this back and forth, tit for tat bleep with Iran. He keeps making these threats. We don't hit him hard. He says we've decimated their military. They launched 30 missiles toward Iraq. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly that this has not been the greatest 6 months of the Trump administration. I can tell you that. And hopefully we'll get back on track. I just pray that we have some good news come midterm election cycle and that we can kind of get ourselves back on track and lead and, finish strong in his last 2 years of his presidency. I certainly hope so. But the way to do that is to somehow figure out the way out on this Iran situation, whether that's to bomb them to oblivion or what. I don't know what it is now. But, yeah, we kind of boxed ourselves in a corner on that. 615-737-9986. James was talking in Lebanon about his frustration with the government, and I did not want to rush him. And so, James, I want you to have an opportunity to continue, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, the midterms is normally for we reelect senators, mayors, governors, and all that. And I can honestly see now why conservative Christians, and like I said, I bleed Trump red. I'm for President Trump 100%. He's the only one that's had guts to do anything. But people like Rashid Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, that nut mayor up in New York, all these people, you look what they did to Trump before he finally won and got to come back into the White House. Raided his house for what? For the same thing that Biden did. But they raided his house, and the Republicans did what? Sit down on the floor, kick their feet, and cried. We got a senator that's leading our Senate right now that's got the backbone of a gummy bear. He needs to kill that, where they argue and fuss, and get that SAVE Act passed. Quit playing with a bunch of liberals. We had cocaine in the White House. Who got arrested for that?
Nobody.
We had a ex-secretary of state and first lady bleached her phone, emptied out her computers. Who got arrested for that?
Nobody.
And what did the Republicans do? Sit down on the floor and kick like a 3-year-old that didn't get his ice cream. They have a job to do. They ask people for their vote. But again, I am so sick and tired. Tim Burchett, just an old country boy, Tim Burchett is the only one that you advertise that I've seen that's got a spine, that stands up for President Trump. And I'm going from now on if you are a career politician, go sack some groceries. You're a liar. Doesn't matter if you are a Democrat or Republican. At least you know the Democrats, they're going to try to put you in jail. They're going to lie. They're going to cheat. They're going to rob the country of money. The Republicans are doing nothing. Zero. And I know there's people in their cars going down the interstate right now, beating the top of their roof, going, praise the Lord, because it's the truth. We have nobody in the Republican Party, but just a few, that knows what's going on. That crap today, they should have, that lawyer, they should have put him in cuffs and took him to jail for disrupting what he did. When Rand Paul says he's going to get him for contempt, I got about as much a chance of running 3 marathons at once as he does getting that little weasel. But why? Is it because he's done something wrong? Or is it because the Republicans will not stand up for what's right? They will not.
Well,
They've not.
You're not going to get a defense from me regarding the Republican Party and their weakness. But I do say this, James. What the Democrats, what the leftists want you to do, what the statists want you to do is what you're doing. They want you to give up.
I'm not going to give up. I'm not. I'm going to vote. Done voted. I'll vote again. And I beg everybody in my church around me, go vote. But it's hard to tell them when they look at you and go, why? What am I supposed to tell them? The only thing I can tell them is it beats the alternative. That's the only thing I can tell them.
Well, I mean, but that's a fair statement, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, the alternative, because the alternative is socialism. At this point, there are no more. I mean, and I hate to say it, and I've been saying it for a long. I mean, I don't hate to say it because I've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it for the last 20 years. That in today's politics, there are no more conservatives. Today's Republicans are yesterday's Democrats. Today's Democrats are yesterday's socialists. And I defy you to find more than a handful of conservatives up there that are willing to fight the good fight, to stop the overspending, and to stop the government corruption and drain the swamp. I've been saying this too, James.
That is very true.
Donald Trump, let me say this to you, because I voted for Donald Trump 6 times now. Donald Trump ran in 2015 into 2016 based on 2 basic premises. Number 1, build the wall. Number 2, drain the swamp. The wall was built. The swamp has won. Donald Trump is getting his ass whipped by the swamp right now, and until we start talking about that, and because anytime I bring it up, folks that support Donald Trump like I have get all mad. And they say, "Oh, you're not Trump," and they start attacking me. They're attacking the messenger. But I am here I'm here to tell you that Donald Trump is getting his butt whipped by the swamp right now, and I'm sad.
Let me say this one last thing.
Oh, go ahead.
He's getting his butt whipped, but why? Because the ones when he said "we,"
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
He's not we. He is
fair.
I.
That's fair.
And you have nobody in there with a spine. Thune should have been thrown out months ago. Months ago. He's a snake. He's a weasel. He's no more than these other Democrats that's out there doing what they're doing.
Well, James, great call. I hear the passion in your voice, and I understand that there are not enough people that are willing to upset the apple cart. We need agents of chaos. One of the reasons that I forgave Donald Trump so many of his past mistakes and past, obviously, I forgive all of that if you are an agent of chaos in Washington, D.C., which is what we need. John Thune is not an agent of chaos. Sadly, many of those U.S. senators, they're not agents of chaos. They want status quo. They want easy work. They want to come back home and talk about how they're trying to fight the good fight. I've been accused of coming off over the last week or so, maybe the last several weeks, as anti-Marsha Blackburn. I've met Marsha on a number of occasions. I've had an opportunity to speak with her on this radio show on a number of occasions. I do not believe that we are going to find a time. I'm still waiting on that call back from some of her folks in her campaign. I made a call several weeks ago and said, we'd love to have her on. Oh, I'll find the time. Give me 72 hours. Okay, I gave you 72 hours and another 72 and another 72 and nothing. I've gotten not a call back, and I don't expect it. I don't expect it. Because at this point, I would be aggressive. So if I were Marsha's people, I wouldn't put her anywhere near Matt Murphy. But I've been accused of being anti-Marsha. I'm not anti-Marsha. I'm pro-truth. I like Marsha. I don't think Marsha will do any significant harm as governor of the state of Tennessee. And frankly, I don't think she's going to do any particular good as governor of the state of Tennessee. If I can be as transparent with you as humanly possible, the power lies in the General Assembly anyway. Probably the most powerful person in the state of Tennessee is the Speaker of the House. And frankly, it could be the Senate Majority Leader at this point. I think that will be the Lieutenant Governor coming up in the next session. That's probably going to be Jack Johnson. All that to say, the governor's office doesn't have significant power in the state of Tennessee to accomplish a lot of things, but they're not agents of chaos either. So I get accused of being anti-Marsha. Why? Because I'm pro-truth. And when I hear her talking about her conservative credentials and I hear her talking about how she's fought against the big government swamp in D.C. and all these other things, I'm thinking, wait a minute. You're a conservative? The national debt was $7 trillion when you got into office, not that long ago, as a representative in the House of Representatives in the 7th Congressional District. And then you transitioned over to the Senate. And in that amount of time, I'm not blaming you. I'm saying, where have you been? Conservatives would fight against overspending that would lead to $32 trillion of increased debt during your time as a government official, during your time as a politician. And some of that's on you. At some point, it's on you. You can... As a spokesperson for the people, I don't know how y'all feel about it. Maybe you're like, oh, well, she can... We're watching the ship sink here. And everyone's busy talking about how much they're trying to bail us out, and we continue to sink. Are we not closer to socialism than we've ever been in the United States history? I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but my goodness gracious, I am sick to death of longtime politicians that run around, and I guess I understand it, because sadly 20% of the people of Tennessee, we're responsible for it at the end of the day, because only 20% of the people of the state of Tennessee will decide this election. Only 20% will go, and 20% will vote, and most of them will vote for Marsha Blackburn. And I blame John Rose too. I mean, he's been a part of it too. Well, there's just not enough of us, Matt. Well, get louder. Get mad. So, no, you're not going to find enough United States senators that are willing to say, John Thune, you're not getting the job done. We need somebody else to get the job done. We can't pass the Save America Act. The Save America Act says we need to make sure that you're a United States citizen for you to vote in federal elections. That's it. And we can't even get that through with a Republican majority in both houses and a Republican president of the United States. Oh, but they're trying their best. They're putting in the hard work, aren't they? Meanwhile, I mean, thank God the American people are as resilient and as hardworking as we truly are. The backbone of this country is in Tennessee, is in Arkansas, is in Mississippi, is in Kansas, is in Idaho. The backbone of this country is in the villages and the hamlets that we talk about so often, and not in Washington, D.C., and not on the coastlines. And it's because of that backbone that we continue to survive. And it's because of that backbone that I believe that we can overcome this. But I'm beginning to wonder. Donald Trump was just this lightning in a bottle. And when he's gone, are we going back to just the same old? It feels like we've already gone back to the same old, doesn't it? (615-737-9986) is our telephone number. Sorry, inspired by James, I put on my rant pants there, and I don't mean to make you feel too bad about it. After all, there's an election coming up next Thursday. I'm sure everything will be fine after that. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. There are 4 locations in the Middle Tennessee area for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. You might ask, why so many locations, Matt? Well, Evan Bass and the rest of the team want to make sure that they have a spot near you. They have the OG location in Nashville that started some 12, 13 years ago. Maybe more than that. Now, I think it's 2014. 2014, Evan Bass started the Midtown location. He added the Cool Springs location several years after that. He has since added Clarksville and Murfreesboro. Why? Because their treatment works. Because people trust the urology-based approach to men-centric health. Because men want to make sure that they are back in the game. It's not 1976, it's 2026. Let's not pretend that there aren't things that we can do from a romance or intimacy perspective to get you back into that game, man. So if you've lost a step or two, call the Tennessee Men's Clinic. If you've lost energy levels, call the Tennessee Men's Clinic. If you think your testosterone's going down, call the Tennessee Men's Clinic and do this right now. 615-208-9090, 208-9090, online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Fed decision, and Dr. Anthony Fauci could face a contempt of Congress charge. These stories and more coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy. I didn't want to come off too harsh. Jackson, did I come off too harsh during the last segment? Would you say that? Would you say that it was good, bad, indifferent? What would you say about the last segment, Jackson?
I am choosing to decline based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution. He's Ken Weaver.
Wait a minute. You can't. No, watch out. You're dangerously close to providing testimony there. You start providing testimony, and that's going to open you up to questions, buddy boy.
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the U.S. Constitution.
You're getting... I'm a little scared. You're getting good at that. I don't like it.
I want to try to make it to 111.
What number are you on?
10.
That makes 9.
9?
Yes, sir.
Ken says 9. What do you say about that, Jackson?
I've declined to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the U.S. Constitution.
My favorite part of today was what the senators that would just pepper him with questions anyway, and he would just do it, and they would ask another question, and he would do it, and they would ask another question, he would do it, and they would ask another question, he would do it. Just ridiculous. Chris, Mike, MC, Bill, and Van. Not necessarily in that order. 30 after the hour on Super Talk.
.4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And heat and humidity is backing off. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Federal Reserve voting to keep interest rates where they are for now, but 3 members dissenting in favor of a rate hike. There's speculation the Fed could raise interest rates during its September meeting if economic trends continue, talking about inflation being elevated. Senate Homeland Security Chairman Rand Paul says his committee will vote next week on whether Dr. Anthony Fauci should be held in contempt of Congress for invoking the Fifth 111 times during today's COVID origins hearing.
If you've been granted complete immunity, we didn't grant him immunity, but President Biden granted him complete immunity. With the grant of immunity, do you still need Fifth Amendment protections, or do they apply? So, and telling that all he had to do today was tell the truth. If he testified and told the truth, even if he admitted to destroying thousands of records, which we think happened, there's no penalty that attaches. It would just be the truth.
So while President Biden preemptively pardoned Fauci on Biden's last day in office, that clemency would not protect Fauci if he was accused of lying to Congress. He's denied wrongdoing, claims he's being vindictively targeted for his role in the pandemic response. Medicare recipients may be in for some sticker shock when they start shopping for next year's drug plan. ABC's Jim Ryan says the Part D prescription drug section of the program's about to lose a major source of funding.
Dr. Mehmet Oz heads Medicare and Medicaid services for President Trump and said in a social media post yesterday that federal subsidies to the Medicare Part D plan are going away at the end of the year because he says the insurers no longer need them. He said most Medicare recipients will see drug premiums rise by less than $10 a month next year, and that some will see their rates actually drop. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Turning to sports, football. The NCAA has suspended Vols linebacker Arion Carter for the first 2 games of the 2026 season. Suspension stems from a $427 flight provided by an agent after Carter declared for the NFL draft. After undergoing treatment for a foot injury, Carter withdrew from the draft, returned to Tennessee, and repaid the flight cost. Coach Josh Heupel says the Vols strongly disagree with the NCAA's decision and fully support Carter. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Let's look at these crashes. We got one on I-24 westbound right before Murfreesboro Pike. It is blocking the left lane. Got one on Bell Road at Couchville Pike. In Madison, this one's with injury. Briley Parkway eastbound at 65 North. East Nashville injury wreck. Dickerson Pike at Trinity Lane. Elm Hill Pike at Arlington Avenue. Gallatin Pike, south of Greenland. Hermitage, a crash. Lebanon Pike, east of Fessler's Lane. Nolansville Pike at McMurray Drive. And in Jolton, a crash. Whites Creek Pike, right there at I-25, or rather 24 north. Northbound, 65's like a parking lot between 440 and the South Loop. I'm Ken Weaver.
Obviously, I want each of you to have good homeowners insurance, good automobile insurance. And we talk about King and Associates insurance when we talk about having that good, solid insurance, the rock bed of protecting your family and protecting those things that you work so hard for. Let me talk to you about you business, or let me talk to you business owners for a moment. There are two types of insurance agencies, ones that sell policies and ones that protect businesses. At King & Associates, they take a different approach. Before they quote you anything, they analyze your exposure, your contracts, your liability, your workers' comp, your coverage gaps that most agents, sadly, miss. Because when a claim happens, the difference isn't price, it's whether you are covered. From contractors to professional services, local businesses across Tennessee, King & Associates Insurance protects business owners and helps them make informed decisions, not rushed ones. If you want a second opinion on your current coverage, they'll review it, they'll explain it, and they'll show exactly where you stand and where you are in need. No pressure, just clarity. Isn't that nice? King & Associates Insurance. They're who I trust, and I would trust them with your business. 615-329-8121, 329-8121, online at kinginsurance.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's 4:39. Thank you for being with us. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. I promised we would talk flock cameras, but obviously the Anthony Fauci testimony from earlier today, or lack thereof, is the big topic of the day, and lots of you on the telephones. Before we get to your telephone calls, Jackson, did you have anything to add to this commentary?
I am using my Fifth Amendment right, declining to comment.
How's it going in there, Jackson, by the way?
I decline to comment per my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the Constitution of the United States of America.
Just 100 more times and he matches Fauci.
Okay, so he's up to 11, Ken. We got him up to 11. 100 more times there, buddy boy. We're going to try to make it by 7 o'clock.
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the Constitution.
Are you planning? By the way, Ken Weaver was the big winner in nincompoops in the news yesterday. Any thought on that?
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the United States Constitution.
Are you planning on playing nincompoops in the news today, Jackson, at 5:35?
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me in the Constitution.
The Vols suck.
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the United States Constitution.
Hello, MC. How are you?
I'm great, and I only listen on the radio, but something tells me you got the free bird from Jackson on that last one.
Hey.
Did you?
You know what, MC? I'm going to go ahead and decline to comment based
on... Hey, whatever happened to... I refuse to comment because it might incriminate me. I always liked them when they said that. And I don't know if Fauci tied or exceeded Frank Costello, the great mafia kingpin, who testified before the McClellan Committee before any of us were born and took it a bunch of times. But I know this one, Joe Velacci got immunity. I'm staying in the Italian world. He testified. He confirmed that we had a mafia. Well, enough of that. Fauci should have testified. I think he's protected. But he's just carrying out the woke, myth from the COVID era. And one random rumination on China. Our own military, which I proudly served in for 10 years under Ronald Reagan and briefly under H.W. Bush, we have lost track of nuclear weapons, one of them right off the coast of your beloved state, and another one in Spain. And the Chinese, it was an accident, but they sure learned a lot by how we reacted to that, and they know it's in their intelligence files and on their mind. But Fauci, as I say, he was either the most negligent, unwitting dupe, or he just didn't give a damn. Anyway, it's some degree of criminality. And I will say this, I don't know, we're not going to have any trouble with Furman, but we might need Arian Foster against Georgia Tech. Y'all have a marvelous day, and God bless the United States of America.
I love MC's calls. They're just so wonderful and self-contained. Y'all be like MC, would you? Thank you, MC. I mean, most of you are. I appreciate all of you in your own way. We're one big happy family. I just have received information on the super text line that Jackson Williams, Ken, I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you have the super text line up in there.
What's that?
I have a source that is indicating to me, Ken.
Yes, sir.
That Jackson Williams, our illustrious executive producer on the afternoon show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yes, sir.
Is a secret Oklahoma Sooner fan.
All right.
That's what I have been told by our sources. Jackson, would you care to confirm or deny this information?
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the Constitution.
I see what you're doing there, Brother Jackson.
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the Constitution.
Jackson, did you play that music?
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the Constitution.
I've heard from reliable sources that if elected governor, he will actually call for the Tennessee Volunteers football team to wear Georgia red.
Oh, wow. That's a big, talk about an agent of chaos and change. Jackson, do you have any comment on that, Governor Gravitas?
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the Constitution.
And that also he will not seek to get rid of Vanderbilt's athletic program.
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the Constitution.
Man, Jackson, I believe Jackson Ken is beginning to feel like Anthony Fauci looked about halfway through that. It's like, boy, oh boy, can we get this done? Seriously, I can't say anything? Okay. I think y'all keep them coming. I was told that Jackson has a... 5305 says, I was told that Jackson Williams has a pair of Georgia Bulldogs underpants.
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the United States Constitution.
Bill is next. Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm good. I think that you're on the brink of Mr. Jackson going postal. Just a hunch.
That's kind of why I went to you, Bill, because Jay Willie was giving me a little bit of a look there. It's like, hey, we've run the bit far enough for this segment. Let's move on to some telephone calls. That's the feeling that I got. Of course, he wouldn't tell me that. Jackson, is that correct?
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment right given to me by the United States Constitution.
Bill.
So I got a question about the whole Fauci thing. How is anybody made this political whatsoever? People are saying, oh, he did it to sabotage Trump's reelection. Well, if that was the case, why did he keep on during Biden's term? This is 100% him. This is 100% humanitarian. And there should be no Fifth Amendment. He should not be able to shut up.
Yes. So
Am I wrong?
Well, yes. So he was pardoned for his previous acts based on Brown v. Walker, 1896, which was referenced a couple of times in the Senate hearing earlier today. There is a strong argument that he can be held in contempt of Congress. Now, they can't physically compel him to testify, but they can hold him responsible for a lack of testimony because he does not enjoy the Fifth Amendment privilege if he's already been immunized against prior illegal acts. Does that make sense?
It does, but my question is how is anybody making this political whatsoever?
Yeah, well,
everybody.
Go ahead.
Every person in this country has lost somebody that they're related to or knew during COVID. If the whole COVID thing was to get Trump out of office, wouldn't it been all of a sudden we found a cure after Biden got in, and Biden would have looked like a superstar, but it wasn't. It kept on. This has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. This is everything to do with being American, being a humanitarian act.
I just don't. The political left does not have an ability to. I mean, I feel like there's a better ability. I understand it's a team sport, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, or whatever. I don't play in that arena, but I get it. I understand it, and obviously, I've been a commentator on it for 26 years. But I agree with you, Bill, that it feels like this one would be a layup for anyone that values the truth. But here's the thing. The leftist media, they are dug into their belief that Anthony Fauci was a good actor in all of this, that he was one of the good guys in all of this, that he was the expert in all of this. He was the one preaching government control. He was the one preaching mandates. He was the one preaching that you have to do this and have to do that and have to do the other thing. He was the one, with the draconian pronouncements and the dystopian future if we don't follow the rules. And the media lapped it up especially during Trump's time in office in 2020. And so they're not going to go against that now. And sadly, many liberals feel like Fauci and Trump, because of the dust-up that happened toward the end of Trump's term and after Trump left office, they feel like it's a decision between Fauci and Trump, and they don't care what the facts are. And they're never going to.
Wow. Well, thank y'all for taking my call.
Well, I mean, Bill, thank you for calling. I mean, I'm not giving you news that you want to hear, but I mean, obviously, Bill's not wrong. This is certainly a no-brainer. Anthony Fauci, by his own writings, by his own words, lied repeatedly to the American people, repeatedly to the world about how all of this came about. Lied repeatedly about the vaccine, quote unquote, and how effective it would be. They lied to us at the beginning and told us if you get the vaccine, you can't get COVID, which was untrue, which means that it's not truly a vaccine. There are questions about how in the hell did you come up with this thing so quickly? That leads us down the road of theory, if not conspiracy theory, with regard to how all of this started to begin with. None of it makes any sense. Yet leftists are invested in government power and control, and anything that moves us away from that, it's not something they're going to support. Mike is in Old Hickory. Hello, Mike.
How you doing, Matt?
Mike, I am great. You doing all right?
Yeah, pretty good. Watch that old Fauci, up there. He's never going to serve a day in jail.
He will not.
And so the only way is state charges, and then that's going to take years. And the only way these AGs in some of these states might charge him, then he'll plead his fifth in those courts. The man walked. He made his $12 million. The only way you're going to get him now is state charges, and then force him to pay his lawyers so that he can't keep his $12 million by paying lawyers. But bottom line is, Fauci walks, and can't do anything about it. And so let's just drop the subject. Now, my subject now is we were almost attacked last night, sneak attack by Iran, and Trump said, well, we stopped it, and now Trump's saying, oh, they're going to really pay. I'm at the point now, Matt, where I think Donald Trump's lying to us. We are not beating Iran. They are beating us. They own the airwaves. Apparently, they're finding missiles that Trump said we got rid of months ago, but they're firing them all over the place. Where's it coming from? And now 50% of Americans in a poll said arrest Netanyahu when he puts his foot down on American soul. This just proves to me
we're not arresting Benjamin Netanyahu.
Well, I know that, but this just shows the hatred of our only ally in that region, and then it also shows that Donald Trump has been lying to us. 5 months now, he said, "Oh, their missiles are gone, their Navy's gone, their air defenses are gone, their Air Force is gone." Well, then where do they come out of all these missiles? And why cannot we defeat them in one swift blow? We can't and then Donald Trump says, well, we're going to hit them hard tonight. What? And then we're going to wake up tomorrow and what's going to change? Nothing.
We're going to hit them hard. We didn't hit them hard because they've come to the table of negotiation. They better negotiate fairly and honestly. Otherwise, we're going to hit them hard. They don't do it.
There you go.
It's a wash.
You sound like a negotiator. You sound like a negotiator for Trump, man. Mm-hmm. And that's the terrible thing. That's terrible. Donald Trump, he should have done it back in February when he said, we're going to get rid of them, and that's it. And then he started.
Well, Mike, before we have to let you go, I think Jackson has something to say to you, Mike. Jackson, go right ahead.
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
There you go, Mike. Thank you so much. 615-737-9986. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Better Water. You want better water, don't you? I mean, obviously, if I told you that the water in your home had iron, sulfur, chlorine, bacteria, or even E. coli in it, that would be of concern to you. Well, let me ask you this. Do you know? Now, if you've had better water out to the house, you most certainly do. I know I did. They came down to Mount Pleasant, visited me. Robert gave me the old thumbs up. He said, Murphy, you're looking good for clothes washing, good for cooking, good for bathing. I would put a little something in the basement of your home, and we eventually did did a reverse osmosis unit. It was scalable to under the sink, and so all of the items are under the sink. We got 4 separate filters under there. Absolutely love it for 4 different levels of filtration and water purity, and I love that. I love everything about better. So when I take this stuff, if you're watching on the Super Talk Television, when I take this stuff and add some water to it, I know that my water is as pure as can be thanks to Better Water LLC. Go to betterwater.com. That's betterwater.com, or give them a call at 615-355-6063, 355-6063 for Better Water LLC. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you.
Interest rates stay put. Dr. Anthony Fauci could face a contempt of Congress charge. We've got these stories and more coming up at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Everybody's a comedian, Jackson. Everyone's a comedian. The redheaded stranger is in on this. Miss Pamela Furr is now saying that Jackson Williams believes Nick Saban is the GOAT.
I respectfully decline to answer based on my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
We're going to have some fun with this in the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock hour, I can assure you. Jackson Williams has said that he will be participating in Nincompoops in the News tonight, so you've got that going for you on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Your call's on the way. Tom, Kurt, Van, let's get to it. 5 o'clock, time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN and The Matt Murphy Show.
Five o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Heat and humidity have finally backed off a little bit. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. The Federal Reserve voting to keep interest rates where they are for now. The vote 9-3, with those three dissenting in favor of a rate hike due to inflation. But Fed Chair Kevin Warsh says
the economy is showing impressive resilience. Even with recent shocks, the trends are positive and reveal solid growth.
There is speculation the Fed could raise rates during its September meeting if trends continue. Senate Homeland Security Committee Chair Rand Paul asked by Fox News this afternoon what he says to Americans who are worried accountability will never be achieved after Dr. Anthony Fauci invoked the fifth 111 times during today's COVID hearing.
I think there's a legal question that should be pursued, and this is why we'll push this with the Department of Justice. And the legal question is, if you're pardoned, can you really claim the Fifth? The Fifth Amendment is to claim immunity from self-incrimination. But if you've already been given immunity, you can't self-incriminate unless you lie. So the only way he could incriminate himself today was if he lied. For example, if I ask him, did you delete 5,000 records during your tenure? Did you have your assistant delete these emails? If he says yes, even though it's a crime, he's admitting to a crime he's been pardoned for.
Paul says he has started the process to subpoena Fauci's assistant, and he says a vote on whether Fauci should face contempt of Congress charges will be held next week in his committee. President Trump today from the Oval Office after Iran's sneak attack on U.S. assets in Jordan.
We're going to hit him very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
Meanwhile, as the war with Iran continues, the U.S. may be running low on certain munitions. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
A report from a D.C.-based think tank, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, that estimates 65% of the stockpile of Patriot missiles has been depleted. And that would leave the U.S. with about 750 Patriot missiles left in the stockpile. And sources have indicated that the Patriot missile supply has been a factor, and the president's decision not to undertake a massive strike.
Schools are now turning to a high-tech device to combat active shooters. They're equipping themselves with drones armed with pepper spray capable of distracting armed suspects. ABC's Sophie Flay reports.
The aircraft, called Campus Guardian Angel, can ram into a threat at 50 miles per hour. Mithril Defense, the company behind the drone, says they'll be stored at the schools so teachers can activate them during an emergency. But some parents are raising concerns.
They are operated remotely from Texas.
Critics also argue the drones could misidentify a threat, and they argue school resources should go towards preventing gun violence.
So right now, these drones are being tested in Colorado, Florida, and Georgia schools. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes 24 eastbound in Smyrna. This is going to be right there at Almaville Road. Antioch crash. Off-ramp partially blocked. 24 westbound off-ramp to Haywood Lane. And then the left lane blocked. 24 westbound before Murfreesboro Pike. Got a crash at Bell Road and Couchville Pike. In Madison, Briley Parkway eastbound at 65. Dickerson Pike at Trinity Lane. Gallatin Pike south of Greenland. Lebanon Pike east of Fessler's Lane. Then a crash Nolensville Pike at McMurray Drive. And in Jolton, a crash. Whites Creek Pike at 24 North. It is complete stop and go bumper to bumper northbound 65 up to the North Loop, and eastbound East Loop is bumper to bumper all the way down to the Eastern Split. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy, The Matt Murphy Show. Many of you vying to get in with your commentary regarding the news of the day, and we'll get back to you momentarily. 8 minutes after 5 o'clock on Super Talk, this Wednesday edition. It is episode 1085. Jackson, what do you have to say about all of that?
I disrespectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
Only 89 more times to match Fauci.
Oh, my God. I feel like I've been doing this for hours.
Jackson, I just received this very important piece of information. Ken, this is just in.
Is it a communique?
There was a communique from downstairs that there's, and I'm just reading from the communique, Ken.
Okay.
I'm just directly reading from this communication here, this memorandum. There is an incredibly hot woman that really wants to talk to Jackson. What does Jackson have? She's downstairs right now. What does Jackson have to say about that?
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
Just 88 more times.
Wow. Big Mike says, get rid of this awful Mark Pody ad. Big Mike! That is. Nah, we don't do that around here. That Mark Pody ad is a Tennessee treasure.
That's a catchy tune.
That is a catchy number. I mean, it caught my attention. Dan Mandis and I got in a fight about it, and now Dan Mandis says he likes it.
That's right.
Dan said, we're gonna have to fight about that, Matt.
We're gonna have to fight it.
Well, no, I mean, come on. Who doesn't like honesty? And Jackson, do you like honesty?
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my rights as a United States citizen given to me by the United States Constitution.
What about integrity, Brother Jackson?
How about integrity, Jackson?
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights of the United States Constitution.
Just 86 more.
You're not going to join with me to help Tennessee?
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States
Y'all are
Constitution.
going to make my ears bleed.
How do you think all of us felt this morning? Hey, Cameron.
Well, y'all are the weirdos that listen to congressional hearings in the first place.
Some would say it's somewhat of an occupational hazard.
It is.
And we listen so you don't have to. Your thoughts on the congressional proceedings from earlier in the day, Cameron?
I asked Jim and I to summarize it for me, and I just asked, is there anything interesting here? And it just responded, no.
Every time I hear someone refer to Jim and I think they're talking about Jim and themselves.
Oh. Well, what was better is I had a friend who referred to it as Jiminy. And I just did not correct that individual for quite some time because I giggled every time they said, well, I asked Jiminy And I could just think of Jiminy Cricket. And I was like, this is fantastic.
Okay, well, fair enough. I'm going to have to get back on track here because 9777 says, and I'm quoting him here, that we're having a little too much fun, fellas. This foolishness, writes 9777, is why you make it hard to listen to this radio station. Not funny.
I agree. I think we should read from the phone book instead.
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
Well, 9777, how would you like for us to react to all of this? Should we just very seriously and solemnly commentate on the Fifth Amendment privilege that was exercised by Dr. Anthony Fauci today? Obviously, there is an assertion on the part of Senator Rand Paul that Dr. Fauci does not enjoy that Fifth Amendment privilege based on the immunity that he has protected by the pardon presented to him by President Joe Biden.
This sounds like a text user who wants us to be NPR.
Well, hello.
Yes. We can do that. We can even change our tone. We are masters of all the best words. We know this, and we can just be like, yes, I do like a good macchiato.
Yes, indeed. Hello and welcome, Matt Murphy and Cameron Smith. This is All Things Belabored.
Matt, I like your words. I like what you. I like the way you process those.
You just smacked.
But that's what they do. I know. I've done this.
Listen, you got to laugh to keep from crying, 9777, and we'll talk about anything on your mind. Just give us a call, 615-737-9986. Yes, Fauci made, headlines. I mean, who didn't see this coming? But I have asserted, and we discussed a little bit of this in All the Best Words, which will drop over the weekend. We invite you to like, subscribe, and do all of those things. Supertalk 99.7 WTN. But as we discussed then, this was all about Fauci protecting his ego because he could have chosen, although he would have to admit that he was previously a complete and total liar, he could have chosen just to tell the truth. And as Rand Paul said, if you came in here and told the truth, it doesn't really matter what you said before. It doesn't matter how much you lied before. It doesn't matter what you did before. You have been sadly pardoned of those things by Joe Biden as one of his final acts as president of the United States of America, whether he knew it or not, autopin or no.
Nobody knows.
But he's not going to do that because his ego will not allow it. And so he is left doing this, which is just... I did have a question last hour, and I'm curious your thoughts on it, because let's be honest, Cameron's much more of an establishment man than Matt Murphy.
Rhino even, thick-hide. It's glorious.
I kind of went off on the establishment GOP last hour. I'm just sick of these people that have been a part of the political environment that have led to where we are today, talking about how awesome they've done over the last 30 years.
Me too.
Because they haven't done awesome. They just haven't.
You've exploded our debt and managed not to do anything particularly useful. Great work, guys.
Well done. Let's make you governor.
Nailed it.
Or whatever. That said, last hour, the caller wanted to know, oh gosh, I've lost my train of thought. What? I'll get it back. Your thoughts on moving forward. I mean, Fauci's not going to serve jail time.
Fauci's 85.
Yeah. So no.
And the Trump administration would prosecute him if they had a case. They would. They'd file charges today. And so they probably don't. And I think, frankly, it's, hey, Ray, I see you with the Cameron Romney. Right on cue, Ray, with the Cameron Romney. You know, people...
Ray's my fave.
Ray, people have forgotten about Mitt Romney. Like, he's not even on the radar anymore. There's a whole generation of kids.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Huh. They don't even know. So you got to come up with a new one. And I got distracted. But the whole point is, no, he's
Cameron McConnell. Oh, wait, he's not alive either. Next.
You got to struggle. The issue is he's not getting prosecuted. Okay, fine. But I actually still support Rand Paul here on having this hearing and forcing him to do this weird Fifth Amendment dance that is just so bizarre because he can't keep his story straight. I mean, that's literally the only thing he could possibly be arguing is, I'm going to have to perjure myself or undermine my credibility, either the two. So I'm just not going to talk. And I think the sadness here that I feel is just for our country.
But there is an argument to be made that you can hold him in contempt of Congress. And you can say that's performative if you want, but you do that because there has been a Supreme Court decision, although, it was 120 some odd years ago, but it's like if the federal government offers you complete immunity, if there's no threat for you to incriminate yourself in a criminal way, then you're not afforded the same protection under the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment was designed to prevent you from having to incriminate yourself.
And maybe we get there again. The whole point here is you can't squeeze him real hard and make him talk. So at the end of the day, he showed up for the hearing. He showed up for Cameron Dommy is good, Gene.
Don't look at
I'm looking
right in the middle.
I have to look. I have to look. Cameron Thune, I like John Thune, but
you like John Thune?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
I gave you something to work with. If I'm like, all these guys are useless.
You like him personally, or you like what he's managed to not accomplish?
So I have. That's funny. So do I find Congress right now generally worthless? Yes.
They're all worthless.
Do I think that a John Thune has done as good of a job as you can having Susan Collins and Tommy Tuberville in the same conference? Yeah.
Mike Johnson's done a good job.
Yeah, Mike's got a little bit more of a...
He's gotten things passed.
Mike is the Speaker of the House, and the Speaker of the House can say some unkind words and just be like, I'm going to run over your butt. And there's not much you can do. In the Senate, because...
He also has a 2-vote majority.
He does. And you're right. I'll give credit to him. But, the old we do not do things, the Founding Fathers contemplated that the Senate would be kind of do nothing.
Well, John Thune's a pud who chooses to protect the members of his Senate rather than do the bidding of the American people by putting the Save America Act up for a vote. Put it up for a vote. 80% of the American people want it. Put it up for a vote. Make them vote.
Yeah.
Make them vote.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking.
I agree with you. I think the idea that, and I've always thought that this was dumb, that senators or the Senate Majority Leader protects his members by shielding them from accountability for their actual positions.
Right. So if he knows he doesn't have the votes and a couple of them are squishes, he won't take the vote at all because he wants to protect the squishes?
Yeah, and I actually had this when I was in the Senate working for Jeff Sessions. I still know the name of the staffer that would come from McConnell's office to tell her we couldn't do conservative things. She would come and be like, sorry, guys, this immigration thing you want to do, we just don't have the votes. To which I would literally, we were friends, and I would yell, like you and I yell, and just be like, you're telling me we can't have a vote because the people who oppose conservative immigration ideas would vote against it? And she said, yes.
So it's more important to get the to protect the squishes than it is to protect the people that are with you, or at least as you claim they are, and get them on the record as voting in favor of this thing so they can go back to their constituents and say, hey, I voted for it, but the stupid squish up in Maine or Alaska or wherever didn't.
So, yeah. And so this was when I had a lot of problems with McConnell. McConnell was great on judges, would get judges through, but his attitude on policy was largely, we live to fight another day. That day never comes. The fight never happens. And there's internal squabbles in the conference. And come on, guys. How old are you really? Just vote. Just vote on the floor. Let people see you. Thumb up, thumb down, whatever. Hand wave. Don't care. But you should be accountable for your vote. And I think any senator who hides behind that needs to be booted from office.
Do you think, writes 1733, they're looking for a body double or creating a McConnell mask or getting the clone ready? Is that why they haven't announced that Mitch McConnell... Look,
It's deadish.
Well, yeah, right. He can't... Apparently, he's in a rehab facility somewhere. I find myself agreeing with Democrat... what's his name up there in Kentucky? Andy Beshears. You got to demonstrate some level of proof of life, or you got to step down, man.
So let me just, I will be the skeptic here and give the counterpoint. Let's say Mitch McConnell is in a drooly phase, but still has a heartbeat. or to say he's in a refrigerator somewhere. Either way, the clock is ticking for enabling Beshears to name a replacement. Now, the legislature in Kentucky has basically blocked Beshears from doing that. So he can't just
they took away the governor's right.
Correct. What he wants to do is name a replacement anyway and challenge the law. And he thinks the law is unconstitutional.
Okay, that's weird.
And
That's
so he's like, okay, I'm going to name a Democratic senator. I'm going to seat them. And then kind of the Trump model of I'm going to do a thing and then you're going to have to sue me to stop me.
Well, my thing is this. I don't think that Mitch McConnell is doing any of this. The individual that was elected to serve as a United States senator is not making any of these decisions. And we need a mechanism that we can demonstrate that somewhere with an impartial body. Dianne Feinstein was the same thing.
There are no impartial bodies.
Well, I mean, but a third-party body that can make... Who's making this decision to prop him up and not to say... I mean, where's this going? I mean, do we think that Mitch McConnell has 5 more years in him?
Of course
Do we
not.
think he has 5 more months? So where does this go
Does
from
he
here?
have long enough to, thwart Beshears? Maybe. I mean, if it's you have tight margins, you don't want a Democratic senator there.
I mean, Beshears what is the point to get to November?
So this is the
Is that the point?
Yeah, this is the Mitch McConnell who kept Merrick Garland successfully off the Supreme Court. Mitch McConnell, the ghost of Mitch McConnell, even if he's dead, would have figured out a way to thwart Democrats. And so he's trying to...
Boy, he's thwarted Democrats, and let's list all the great things that's gotten the American people.
The Supreme Court would be a big one. I mean, really. I mean, would I love to say that we got spending under control? Would I love to say that we've got a lot of legislation through that I'm really excited about? Sure, I can't. I mean, I can point to laws I liked-ish, but the judges, I saw that firsthand. Like Mitch McConnell shepherded through a lot of judges
And now you got John Thune, who refuses to go into recess so Donald Trump can recess appoint some of those judges, those same good judges that you're talking about, McConnell. John Thune won't do that.
Well, recess appointment judges and getting them confirmed by the Senate confirmed judges are a lot better.
The Republican majority in the United States Senate, Cameron, I'm going to fight you on this.
Sure.
Refuses to go into recess. They can't get the judges passed, and they refuse to go into recess so Donald Trump can appoint them.
Then vote against them.
I mean, I wish Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty and other Republicans in the United States Senate would have the guts to do that.
Every senator thinks they're the next president. And so the whole, and here's why.
Why is he not holding? Why does he refuse to go into recess? He does these pro forma sessions
so that they don't get the recess appointments because they want to confirm, because they want to be
But
involved.
they can't confirm. They can't get it done. They cannot do their constitutional duty.
Sure. I like friction in the federal level. Love it. And so I want a Senate that tells the president, you can't do that.
So you want a bogged down court system. You want fewer constitutional judges in the system.
I've been very clear that I want to see great judges appointed and confirmed. I actually worked on that as a staffer. I think it's really, really important. I don't want holes in the judiciary. I do want there to be tension between the executive branch and the Senate when it comes to these appointments.
What's the clog? Why can't we get these things done?
If they can't
in the Senate,
because the Senate they don't have votes, and they have a lot of folks now that are lame ducks, like Cornyn's and folks like that. What's the guy, Tillis? I mean, you've got enough lame ducks that they're starting to say, well, I may not like this, so I get Susan Collins, I get Murkowski, I get those other ones up. That's enough votes. And now that's sort of the silver lining, or not the silver lining, it's kind of like the poo lining of Trump taking out, Republicans, right? Is now they're like, you know what? I'm going to stick you on this. And that's what's going to happen.
Jackson, what were your thoughts on the last segment of the Matt Murphy Radio Show today on Super Talk 99.7 WTN?
I respectfully decline based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
25 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. You know, one of the marks of a good parent, they warn their kids about danger, who to trust, what to avoid. Well, I'm not pretending to be your parent here, but I am here to tell you something. Eurofix is the place to go when it comes to European automobile repair. And they warn their customers, too. In some cases, they make it right even when they don't have to. They police themselves because not every auto shop tells you the full story. You need to know those that do, and Eurofix is one that does. They make quality repairs at below dealer pricing and have since 1999. A free 15-minute no-wrench inspection, a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the work that Eurofix performs. Rental cars available with every appointment. Stay on the road and off the tow truck. Family-owned for over a quarter century. 5 separate locations to serve you. Eurofix. Call them today at 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX, or online at myyurofix.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and it looks like the heat and humidity is backing off a bit. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Just got an Amber Alert for a 3-year-old Tyler Hall who went missing June 2nd from Clarksville, Tennessee. The toddler is a little white boy. He's got blonde hair. He's got blue eyes. This Amber Alert has been issued on behalf of the Clarksville Police Department for Tyler Hall. Like I gave you his description. He weighs about 40 pounds. Sorry, I'm reading this from my phone. It just came down. Tyler was last seen on June 2nd, 2026, in the area of Aurelia Lynn Drive in Clarksville. He was last seen wearing a green dinosaur t-shirt, green shorts, and gray socks. If you have seen Tyler or you have information regarding his whereabouts, you are asked to contact the Clarksville Police Department, or you can call TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. The Federal Reserve has decided to leave interest rates unchanged after its two-day meeting today. The markets, which were already down thanks to the war in Iran and falling tech stocks, dropped even further. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more.
It was a rough day on Wall Street with the Dow Jones Industrial Average closing down about 2%, more than 1,000 points lower after the Federal Reserve left interest rates on hold. The Fed is signaling that it could still hike rates in the months ahead, and the main reason why is higher inflation.
Senate Homeland Security Committee Chair Rand Paul telling Fox News the committee will vote next week on whether Dr. Anthony Fauci should face contempt of Congress charges for invoking the fifth 111 times during today's COVID hearing.
I can't bring charges because I have no prosecutorial power. The Department of Justice can. And what I'm looking towards doing in the next week or so is drawing up a legal brief citing legal precedent for the Fifth Amendment not being appropriate for someone who's been pardoned. I think as we put those arguments forward, then we'll leave it up to the Department of Justice, but we will strongly encourage them that they should pursue this.
Again, Rand Paul says those votes will be held in committee next week, and that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a crash in Rutherford counties, 24 eastbound there at Almaville Road in Smyrna. In Madison, a crash, 65 northbound at Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway. Antioch, a crash, off-ramp partially blocked, 24 westbound off-ramp to Haywood Lane. And then in Antioch, a crash, Laverne Couchville Pike, just north of Pinhook Road. It is like a parking lot going eastbound on 440 between 65 and 24. Both directions of 65 are really backed up, from the South Loop down to 440, and then even south of 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Thanks, man.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Van, we see you there. Van has held for a long time, and so is Tom. Y'all make me feel bad.
The Vanimal.
But you know what? We got time for nincompoops. Van is next up. Hey, Van, how are you?
All right. How about you?
I'm doing great, Van. What's on your mind?
Well, I sit here and I've listened to some good commentaries you've put out. Most of them have been about, of course, Tennessee education system.
Yes, sir.
But my little 2 cents worth, if you want to put in it, since my daughter happens to be a teacher in Tennessee, is the deal that we talked about with Trump, and I'm not trying to badmouth Trump because I think he's doing a good job about trying the people coming in. But my question or my comment would be, how do they expect to educate a person coming in that hadn't ever been to school and say they're 14 years old and they stick them in the 11th to 12th or 9th grade, but they've never been to school before, and they're going to educate them? Can you tell me and give me an answer for that?
I cannot.
So hang on. That folks have never been to school before, and then they're going to educate them. But where
bring them in? They bring them in from just. I'm going to tell it like I see it.
Okay.
They bring them in from South America, and they'll put them in here and get across the border. Okay, they won't put them in school. Okay, and they do. They put them in school.
Sure.
But when they put them in school, they find out they're 13, 12, 14 years old. They hadn't been in any classroom at all anywhere.
Right.
They speak a different language. And how in the world does our education program expect to teach them anything because they hadn't even got the basics?
Well, I mean, it's worse than that. Our public education system has standardized those educational opportunities to the point that even youngsters in America, forget coming from other countries, that are at different levels of educational opportunity, or maybe just have different talents, God-given talents. We're trying to standardize that educational process to the point that it homogenizes it.
I'll give you the short answer. It's they enroll them in English as a second language. They put an individual education plan around them, and they try the best they can. But I mean,
I agree with that. I agree with that part. But my point is, I mean, like I said, my daughter has been teaching for over 20 years. They bring them and put them in her class. Now, I ain't gonna say where, but it's in Tennessee. It's right here in Tennessee. And how in the world does our education? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be critical about them. All I'm trying to say is, I always had respect for somebody that told me something that was going wrong instead of badmouthing them. Now, that's my situation. If they tell me something that I think is wrong and I can know that I can correct it, then I will correct it, and I think more of them. Just like Solomon, a while ago, we brought something about the religion. Well, we just put the Bible in there. Like Solomon said, spoken words, good spoken words are like gold, so to speak. Well, all right, spoken word here is, how in the world can our system be improved when you put them in them classes, say 8th grade, 9th grade, they haven't been in school at all, haven't had any education, not even in their own language.
Right.
And expect it to improve our education program.
We challenged the authority that the federal government had to dictate whether or not we had to educate illegal alien children. And I agree. So
go ahead.
But the answer, Van, you're not going to like it. The answer is to prevent them.
Oh, well, like I said, I respect the person's way he puts it. It will make no difference, pro or con. Go ahead.
The answer is to prevent them from getting here. Secure borders.
Oh, I agree. 100%. I agree with that part all the way. If they come in here being legal and being a citizen, okay, that's a different ball game. But when bring them in here and you put them in the class,
I get it. It makes the job of the educator infinitely more difficult. Van, thank you for the call. I understand the concern. There's not an easy answer as to how to do that, because we are a caring and loving society. We do not believe in punishing the children necessarily because of the sins of the parents. And, we try to lean on the angels of our better nature.
Yeah.
And it causes us problems because we won't do the things necessary to enforce the border security that needs to be enforced, and to explain to the rest of the world that we love all of you, but we can't take each of you.
Right. And I think the consistent piece has to be, as you said, securing the borders, but also enforcing the law against the parents.
Yeah.
And, we're not going to penalize the kids, and I don't think we should, because it's not their fault. I mean, my kids get drug around because of me. And so, I mean, I think that part makes sense, but you must enforce. And then the parents can say, sorry, kids, we're getting deported. You got to come with us. I mean, that's just a reality of family.
43 after the hour. We do it each day at this time. Ladies and germs, it's time for Nincompoops in the News.
Nincompoops in the News.
You know what the news is? I do have a question about the news coming up in just a moment before we get into the actual Nincompoops, but I will say we look all across the volunteer state at this time, all across these 50 United States of America.
Nay, the globe.
I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
Just 83 more.
Nay, the globe. And we find these nincompoops where they live and where they breathe. Ken Weaver, you were the big winner yesterday. Congratulations, my friend.
Yay!
Yeah, it was a nip and tuck experience between the three of us. Not often is it the case that the three of us end with such a close vote, but it was a very close vote between all three. Matt wins on Monday. Ken wins on Tuesday. Let's see what happens on Wednesday. Before we get into it, did we just do some sort of Amber Alert?
We did, and I gave the wrong Amber Alert, and I apologize.
Okay.
I need to give the correct one.
Okay, yeah, you want to do that now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I do. State and local authorities are searching for 1-year-old Lily Hill after an Amber Alert was issued this afternoon. Investigators believe the child is with her non-custodial mother. They may be traveling in a blue 2017 Kia Sportage that bears Tennessee license plate 384BQVJ. Anyone with information is asked to contact law enforcement immediately. You can call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
There you go. There is your Amber Alert. Thank you, Ken Weaver. 45 after the hour. Ken, what is our batting order for Nincompoops?
Well, it is definitely going to be Weaver.
Uh-huh.
It is going to be Brother Cameron.
Yeah.
It is going to be Brother Murphy.
Nice!
And then Brother Jackson Williams up the rear.
Somebody said, 0530 said, I'm hoping Jackson pleads the fifth and won't go today. Well, we're going to find out together, aren't we?
I respectfully decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
Just 82 more.
Oh, Lord.
Weaver.
Yes, sir.
Who's your nincompoop, my friend?
My nincompoop is a 34-year-old man out of Homestead, Florida, who has been arrested nearly 20 times in Miami-Dade County, and he was back behind bars today. Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office detectives arrested Christopher Chiafalo, that is, at 10:40 p.m. Tuesday. The deputies took Chiafalo to the Homestead Police Department, where police officers showed him a video of a burglary on July 25th. Oh, yeah, I broke into the business a while back. Look familiar. Yeah, that's me. You got me, Chiafalo told a police officer, according to the police report. Court records show prosecutors filed a dozen cases against Chiafalo from 2011 to 2013 and 6 from 2015 to 2021, and about half were alleged burglaries and robberies. A police officer estimated the total loss for the business burglarized on July 25th, including stolen cash, property damage, and replacement costs, was about $5,200.
Dang.
The nincompoops in this case are the judges who keep letting this guy out.
20 times?
20 times.
That's a lot of times. Yeah, I'd agree with you. The judges are the nincompoops in this situation.
They show him a video and he says, oh, yeah, I broke into that business a while back. Looked familiar. Yeah, that's me. You got me.
Oh, yeah, I'm all good.
Because he knows he's going to get right back out.
Yeah, sure. You know, he's not a serious criminal, Ken. It's not like he's a career criminal or anything. He's only been in jail or arrested 20 times.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Yes, nincompoopery abounds in Ken Weaver's story. Cameron?
This is in out of Baltimore, so it's not Florida man this time.
Baltimore man.
For weeks, people in Canton shared reports of a man exposing himself in the neighborhood. Baltimore City Police said they've identified a suspect, but detectives are still trying to determine whether he's connected to additional incidents. Police arrested 49-year-old Jason Morgan at his home in Harford County. He's charged with 3 counts of indecent exposure. Court records show Morgan was previously convicted of indecent exposure elsewhere.
What else was indecent that he exposed?
It was most often along Elwood Avenue near the victim's home in Canton. At first, she thought it was someone playing a prank. He came out of nowhere, opened his jacket and said, "Happy birthday," and then did a dance. So that's why I thought it was a prank. Somebody just being weird. The last few times, he was just in his jacket and not saying anything. The reason I got really concerned, he had absolutely nothing on but socks and shoes.
Just in case there's gravel.
Well, yeah, you got to protect your toes.
She was just, as long as you stay away, it's totally fine. But then she said the encounters became more frequent and more concerning, and she called the police after one incident when the man got closer to her and her roommate. She posted Ring doorbell video online after he showed up completely naked outside her home. So
it's all fun and games until the twig and berries come out.
Yeah, everybody can handle the happy birthday.
Yes.
It's the rest of it that becomes a problem.
Yeah, we need to wrap that rascal, cover that thing up.
Don't do that. That's not a happy birthday.
Goodness. That fella's a nincompoop. I got some nincompoops in Fayette County, Georgia. A Fayette County first grader with autism was suspended after biting his peanut butter and jelly sandwich into the shape of a gun and pointing it at a classmate during lunch.
Oh, my goodness.
You're serious.
Goodness.
According to the child's parents and school records, the family says the incident is part of a broader pattern of the district disciplining their son without adequately considering his autism diagnosis. School records show that Sarah Harp Mentor Elementary administrators issued more than 24 disciplinary actions against little 6-year-old John Medina.
Jeez.
Some include incidents of kicking and punching other students at recess. Since 2023, the school disciplined him at least 33 times. So, I mean, he's got some issues going on. Records show that he was suspended for pointing a water bottle at someone while making a gun noise. The sandwich suspension happened last school year in March. John's mother, Kristen Medina, said she wanted to share what happened to compel administrators to prevent future unnecessary disciplinary actions. They informed me over a phone call that he was getting suspended. I was baffled. The family hired a special education director who's worked at Georgia schools in the past to represent them during meetings with the Fayette County school system. He apparently, while at lunch, bit his sandwich into the shape of a gun, pointed it at a kid, and said, "Bang!" And that's going to get you suspended from the Fayette County school systems. I would suggest that Fayette County School Superintendent Jonathan Patterson, along with many, many others, by the way, Mr. Patterson declined multiple interview requests for this story, but he declined to answer questions, said we don't want to recognize these things specifically, but just suffice it to say that these are difficult times.
That's not difficult. It's a sandwich gun.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Goodness.
So, regardless of where this kid's been in the past and some of the problems that he's had in the past, it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
The fact that people actually are somewhere out there, they're defending that like, well,
absolutely.
It could be triggering.
It's very important.
It could be triggering.
My little boy, he's very sensitive to those times.
Little boys, they pick up everything and turn it into a weapon anyway. So
I guarantee you that most school systems have right here in Middle Tennessee have policies over this right here.
Oh, I know.
The old finger guns.
It's a threaten.
You better not. You better not pull out those finger guns. Pew pew.
Yeah, we got to stop this silliness.
So stupid.
Yes, sir.
Trying to stop boys from being boys. Fayette County school system, you're a bunch of nincompoops. Jackson, are you participating in today's proceedings?
Matt, I have stated all show that I decline to comment based upon my Fifth Amendment rights, but I have stumbled upon an injustice that requires a comment.
Uh-oh.
It is something that Ken Weaver has reported on, the great newsman that he is.
I thank you, Brother Jackson.
Yeah.
Tennessee's Arion Carter suspended 2 games over $427 flight. The NCAA has suspended Tennessee linebacker Arion Carter for the first 2 games of the season for accepting a 427 flight from an agent that all college players have.
This is low.
After he declared for the NFL draft. Carter, a senior from right here in Smyrna, Tennessee, played through a foot injury late in the 2025 season like the warrior he is. After declaring for the draft, he aggravated the injury and needed surgery, and ultimately decided to return to Tennessee for another season.
He got hurt giving alms to the poor.
A Tennessee source told ESPN that the NCAA originally suspended Carter 3 games, but the Volunteers appealed the penalty, which was reduced to 2. And I would like to point out, Matt, don't butt in on this, that
pardon me.
they get, you want to know how much the NCAA suspended Brendan Sorsby for gambling on his own team?
I don't know.
He got 2 games.
2 games.
So originally they deemed a $400 flight worse than gambling on your own team.
Well, the Vols have to stop cheating, Jackson.
It was $427, Jackson.
Carter will miss. I'm getting there. Carter will miss the Volunteers opener against FCS program Furman at home on September 5th.
Yikes.
And
Bonus points if you know the mascot of Furman.
I don't. And a September
Paladins.
12th road game at Georgia Tech. He will be eligible to return September 19th against Kennesaw State.
A Tech game might be tricky, boys.
And it has been reported that Carter paid the agent back for the flight when he decided to return to Tennessee.
I hate that.
So this man paid for the flight, and he is being penalized unfairly by a corrupt organization, and I'm not going to stand for it. I hope this sees the inside of a courtroom, because I don't see how you can enforce this.
Jackson, did he cheat?
He did not.
Okay.
Speaking of cheating.
You're right, by the way. That's a good pull. The Paladin, that's pretty good. Furman.
The purple and white, I believe they're colors.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. The
purple and gray, maybe.
Gray, yeah.
Getting ready to be black and blue.
Well played, Ken Weaver. No, I just, all you folks on the Super Talk text line that before Jackson went, voted for Jackson, that I'm pretty sure is cheating.
Look, why don't you talk to your buddy John Thune about it?
John Thune would do nothing about it, so I can't. But the reality here is that there's some fraud and shenanigans going on with the vote, because Jackson Williams for governor, that campaign, he's already acting like a politician. He's getting votes before he even runs.
But back to Arion Carter, the important things.
Is it Arion?
Arion Carter.
Okay.
The guy that cheated and took the flight
he
that he wasn't supposed to take?
He did not cheat. He was allowed to take that flight because he had declared for the NFL draft. Ultimately, he decided to not enter the draft because of his foot injury that needed rehab and would have kept him out of much of the pre-draft process. So he decided to get surgery, come back to Tennessee. He then repays the flight that was paid for and is still penalized by the corrupt and spineless NCAA.
I think, let's tell the full story here. He injured that foot rescuing orphans, I heard.
Exactly. After the Music City Bowl.
Yeah. He jumped right into the Cumberland.
Disabled orphans.
Disabled orphans. Jumped right into the Cumberland. Saved them from certain death.
Does Georgia Tech still run the triple option?
They do not anymore, Ken. They're a dangerous squad, that Tech team.
They are.
You don't want to be shorthanded with that Tech team in week number 2, let me tell you.
Wait until they do this to Gunnar Stockton.
Gunnar Stockton is a man of honor, sir.
So is Arion Carter.
Gunnar Stockton does sound like a Civil War general.
Gunnar Stockton also drives a vehicle from the Civil War era.
Here in about 3 weeks, it would not hurt my feelings if Gunnar Stockton ate some lettuce.
That Taco Bell lettuce, get it.
I want to see that injury report. Gunnar Stockton out. Blasty ass.
Blasty ass, out. We're out. That's how we play Nincompoops in the News. Don't fall for it, folks. Vote for Matt Murphy on Nincompoops in the News today. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Listen, the Timberland cabinetry promise is simple. They offer you premium quality cabinet products built for beauty, durability, and everyday functionality. And they do it right here in Middle Tennessee. Trusted Middle Tennessee craftsmanship since 2005. With local service, they have national distribution capability. In other words, they ship all over the United States of America, but you can find them right here in Middle Tennessee. That means you take advantage of the savings from being right here. You can tour the entire facility. You can pick from their many different options available in their showroom. It is the real deal, folks. It is you from start to finish. You can get that kitchen remodeled thanks to Timberland Cabinetry. You can also do bathrooms or any place that you have cabinets in the house. They can handle at Timberland Cabinets. TimberlandCabinets.com for more information. TimberlandCabinets.com or give them a call. Leave a message. They'll call you right back. If they're not there, 931-499-7170. 931-499-7170. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Timberland Cabinets.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Keep an eye out for a blue 2017 Kia Sportage bearing Tennessee license plate 384BQVJ. This is the subject of an Amber Alert issued this afternoon for 1-year-old Lily Hill. Investigators believe the child is with her non-custodial mother, Casey Hill, wanted on multiple Franklin County charges, including aggravated kidnapping. Authorities say the pair may be traveling in a blue 2017 Kia Sportage. Again, Tennessee license plate 384BQVJ. Anyone with information has to contact law enforcement immediately. It's as easy as calling 1-800-TBI-FIND. And the Federal Reserve leaving interest rates unchanged after its 2-day meeting. The markets, which were already down all day thanks to the war in Iran and falling tech stocks, dropped even further. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more.
In this decision today, 3 Fed officials said they believed rates should go up now. Typically, when we see inflation going up, the Fed does hike rates to try to get those prices under control. What's happening is the Fed is kind of looking at this, and Fed Chair Kevin Warsh said they're still assessing the data, but the tone that he took, the market read that as there will be future interest rate hikes.
Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee Chairman Senator Rand Paul has set a contempt of Congress vote against Dr. Fauci for not answering questions, invoking the Fifth Amendment 111 times today during a COVID origins hearing.
You know, I've recommended before for his criminal prosecution, and neither the Biden DOJ nor the Trump DOJ have taken it up. All I can do is recommend prosecution. I can't initiate a prosecution.
So Paul says it will pass his committee when he holds the vote next week, but he doesn't think it'll have to go through the entire Senate in order to be presented to the Justice Department. Meanwhile, while President Biden preemptively pardoned Dr. Fauci on Biden's last day in office, that clemency would not protect Fauci if he was accused of lying to Congress. He's denied wrongdoing and claims he is being vindictively targeted for his role in the pandemic response. And while speaking to reporters inside the White House this afternoon, President Trump vows the U.S. is preparing its response to the overnight missile attack from Iran, saying it is their turn.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, crashes, Germantown, Jefferson Street west of Roosevelt Parks, Hermitage injury wreck, Central Pike just east of the I-40 ramp there. In Madison, we've got a crash, Gallatin Pike north, south of Altaloma Road. In West Nashville, a crash, 40 westbound, past 46th Avenue, 51st Avenue. Madison, a wreck, 65 northbound at Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway. Hermitage, this crash with injury, Bell Road at Old Hickory Boulevard. Christiana in Rutherford County, 24 eastbound at Epps Mill Road. And then in Trevecca, we got an injury wreck, Murfreesboro Pike just east of Elm Hill Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hurry up, voice guy. Thank you. Jackson, I see what you're doing on the YouTube chat vote. I see what you're doing, and I don't like it.
What do you accuse me of doing?
I'm accusing you of rigging the vote with your phony baloney made-up YouTube accounts.
I decline to comment and assert my Fifth Amendment rights given to me by the United States Constitution.
How is it that Jackson came from behind and suddenly surged into a tie right as we were closing out the votes? It's amazing.
Found some votes, as they do.
Amazing. Look at there. Jackson, 34%, Murphy, 34%, Cameron, 18%, Ken, 14%.
But you notice who it listed top, so I get those 5 votes.
You do not get those 5 votes. I'm just going to go ahead and wash those out. If I can. I don't know if the bylaws allow me to do so because some of us try to play by the rules, unlike the Tennessee Volunteers, what with their player taking fancy flights all here, there, and everywhere. My goodness gracious.
Okay, let's look up how many Georgia Bulldogs have private jet NIL deals.
We don't have private jets, which is why we have to drive so fast on the highways and byways to get where we're going, Jackson.
Yeah, how many suspensions have y'all had for reckless driving?
Oh, plenty of them. Lots
how many
of them.
Starting linebackers?
Oh, there have been a few, I'm sure. I could look into it. I'll get back to you. We're going to have to get back to you right after the season is done. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I know I'm number one. I liked you better when you were pleading the Fifth Amendment. 615-737-9986 is our telephone number if you'd like to be a part of the show. I've got a few videos that I want to share with you this hour, and I'm very, very interested in getting Cameron Smith's opinion on one in particular. Cameron Smith joins us from the Tennessee. He writes for the Tennessean. We've got a podcast together. It's called All the Best Words. Like, subscribe, do all of the things. Supertalk 99.7 WTN. And then, of course, he's with us on these Wednesdays. Sometimes he's here when I'm not.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It is fun. When you're not around, I can get a little wild.
I like that you decided not to wear the you wore the sunglasses throughout the course of the latest podcast.
Right here, but I mean, I don't know if it's too bright
I don't think I care for them. I don't think I like them at all. I don't think I like your attitude when you have them on. I think you look a little military-ish.
Today with the green shirt.
But with attitude and I just...
Short cropped hair. I get it.
I don't mind the military. Don't get me wrong. I know that came out wrong. And so I
heaven bid I look like a member of the military. Jeez. Okay.
See. God. I think you would have given me the pass on it had I not pointed out my faux pas.
I would have, but then I decided not to.
It's just you with the I don't like that you get a little sassy.
That's fair.
Well, Tom has been holding for some time. Tom, the floor is yours. What's going on, Thomas?
Good afternoon, Mr. Murphy.
Hello, Tom.
If it wouldn't offend you too much, I think it would be nice if you would go ahead and lay off young Jackson. Young Jackson
better than laying on
have. Now, he definitely has Georgia Bulldog underwear. But as a good Tennessee man, what better to clean his toilet with? Even your friend, Jay St. Clair, could go ahead and explain that to you.
Mm-hmm.
That music actually plays when I raise my toilet seat. It's pretty great.
And Cameron, for you, for the really tough stains, a Crimson Tide elephant, little elbow grease, take those stains right out.
Well, as an elephant, it's kind of difficult.
If you Vols fans would spend less time making up jokes and more time generating money that you can send to your NIL, you might have a better season.
Mr. Murphy, you cut me to the quick. I didn't make up the jokes. The joke is the Georgia Bulldogs.
It's football season, boys. It's here, fellas. We got callers on the news talk station jumping in. I love it.
It's America.
America. All right, Tom, I'm going to get out of the way. Go. You got one more, or is that it?
No, I'm good. I don't want to go ahead and hurt you too bad.
All right, brother. Call me back. Let's go.
Yeah, it's that time of year. I love it.
I mean, come on. By next week, it'll be August. You know what happens in August? Not a lot, but you know what happens in September? Football.
Yeah. Well, hey, scrimmages. We got high school scrimmages, middle school scrimmages.
We do.
I'm going to go watch the Stangs scrimmage Friday night.
Preseason football.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. You forget about that until August rolls around and you think, man, how am I going to wait a month? And then you're like a starving man just looking for anything to eat.
Amen.
Anything to eat. And they tell you, oh, it's the first week of preseason NFL football. So, oh, really? None of it counts. None of it matters. None of the stars will play. I don't care.
Don't care.
I'm fine. Just give it to me. Just give it to me.
Yes, I watched basically a scripted jamboree of 3 middle school teams, and it was wonderful.
You loved every second.
It was great.
You loved every second.
It was at FRA. The Franklin Road Academy football field. It feels like it's on top of a mountain.
Yes,
overlooking everywhere. It's gorgeous, and I was like, God has anointed this moment where we get to watch football again.
How much is Lipscomb going to charge me to get into a football game?
I can probably get you a press pass.
Now, what I'm thinking about doing, I think we need to invite the Murphy Minions, all of our loyal listening audience, out to root on the Mustangs, is it?
Yes, the Lipscomb Academy Mustangs.
The Mustangs to victory. I mean, you're a big part of the show, big part of the family. I think we should all go out during a home game and gather together to commune together, to have a hot dog and a soda pop and enjoy some dang high school football.
Yeah, I'm actually, so because I have kids playing, I need to show up and support the team. That for me is the Friday nights in Tennessee are the greatest ever. And when I have a bye week, or when the boys have a bye week, it's personal for me. I'm going to find somewhere to go to commune with folks. Yeah. You should come out. This is a humanizing experience.
I agree. We're tallying the votes right now, so we'll get to those in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, but I want to get to this. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you have the ability to see it, Cameron, from where you're sitting. But it took a minute to find this ad, but when I finally found it because Marsha is protesting so much about it. That she is considering filing suit against this political advertisement. I want to tell you the Tennessee Star story, and then we'll get the ad to you. So, according to the Tennessee Star, in today's edition, Marsha Blackburn, an attorney representing Senator Marsha Blackburn, sent a legal demand letter to 2 political consultants affiliated with the American Exceptionalism Institute, which recently released an advertisement, that accused her of engaging in political corruption to flood the country with opiates. Addressed to Wayne Ducote and Joel Ritter, the letter accuses the American Exceptionalism Institute of sponsoring an advertisement containing, quote, knowingly false and defamatory accusations of bribery and criminal corruption. Okay, so in other words, it's a political ad?
Yeah.
The ad was tracked by Ad Impact Politics last Thursday, when the Political Advertising Intelligence Service reported the institute has spent or reserved $1.4 million. The advertisement claims someone, quote, paid Senator Marsha Blackburn to pass our bill. Let's just let's play you the ad. For those listening on Talk TV or watching on Talk TV, you'll be able to see the ad. For those listening, we'll try to describe it for you after the 30-second ad runs. Here it is.
Our pain-killing pills wouldn't sell, so we paid Senator Marsha Blackburn to pass our bill.
If you're having trouble passing bad legislation, try Senator Marsha. Side effects of paying Marsha include an opioid crisis, over 20,000 overdose deaths in Tennessee, billions for Big Pharma, millions for Senator Blackburn.
Marsha Blackburn's the queen pharma mama who's ready to sell.
Call Senator Marsha Blackburn and tell her to stop selling out Tennessee.
That's pretty great.
It's so okay. So it's AI. You see these so-called lobbyists or whatever it is in suits. They're playing pickleball for some reason, but they're not. They're playing pickleball for some reason. I don't know why. Our pain-killing pills wouldn't sell, so we called I just listened.
Our pain-killing pills wouldn't sell, so we paid Senator Marsha Blackburn to pass our bill.
If you're having trouble passing bad legislation, try Senator Marsha. Side effects of paying Marsha include an opioid crisis, over 20,000 overdose deaths.
All right, so I'm going to read over 20,000 opioid deaths. Here's what the small print says at the bottom of this ad. CDC National Center for Health Statistics, drug overdose deaths, multiple cause of death data. So they're giving you the they're telling you where they're getting this information
in Tennessee,
from.
Billions for Big Pharma, millions.
Billions for Big Pharma. Serious side effects may include millions for Senator Blackburn. Marsha Blackburn contributions from lobbyists, open secrets, Blackburn personal financial disclosures, 2003 to 2026. And I've actually looked this one up, and it is the case. It is a fact that Marsha Blackburn has received over $1 million, about $1.5 million from the pharmaceutical industry during that period of time.
For Senator Blackburn.
Marsha Blackburn's the queen pharma mama.
Queen Pharma Mama?
Who's ready to sell?
Okay, this woman in this ad, I guess, vaguely looks like Marsha Blackburn. Have you seen this image?
It doesn't.
Look over here. That is vaguely. I mean, can you see that? Ish. Hair-ish. Look-ish. It's obviously AI. Does Marsha Blackburn have a legitimate complaint, Cameron, that this third party needs to be forced to take this political advertisement down?
No.
It's silly season, right?
Yes.
And I feel like it's kind of fair game when Marsha. So here's what I would say. A few things. Number one, Marsha Blackburn's going to be the next governor of the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Number two, Marsha Blackburn has been in politics for a long time. She ought to have thick skin by now. Number three, she took a lot of money from pharmaceutical companies. Number four, I thought of several other things while I was sitting here. Number four, Marsha Blackburn chose to move $4.8 million out of her Senate campaign fund to Club for Growth. Okay? So this is a fact. Marsha Blackburn moved $4.8 million and gave it to Club for Growth because she can't spend that money on her governor's race. That is illegal, to move money from a federal race to a state race. So she gave Club for Growth, donated them $4.8 million. Club for Growth just magically, I'm certain, independent of that moving of the money, suddenly started running anti-John Rose political advertisements in the state of Tennessee, making a lot of crap up as the Tennessee Freedom Fund. Okay, so don't talk to me about dirty politics while you're engaging in dirty politics. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
So you can make AI videos pretty fast. I was just sitting here and I made a John Rose ad.
Did you?
Yeah, just tweeted it at you.
Okay. I can't wait. Cameron, you need to be shopping wasted bacon to some politician for a campaign jingle. Amen, brother.
We can do that.
Yes.
Actually, that's a great project. Wasted Bacon's been looking for a new project, and so we can do just in time for the elections. We should do some campaign jingles.
Well, I think wasted bacon is going to be a big time consultant for the Jackson Williams for governor campaign.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of consultation regarding wasted bacon and what we can do to promote Jackson Williams as a political candidate. As a matter of fact, I feel like before the end of the show, we can come up with a pretty good Jackson Williams jingle.
Let me see what I can do. I mean, we've got at least we got 37 minutes.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Done. Just check out the John Rose ad. It's awesome.
All right, I'm going to look at that. Mandy, what's going on with you?
Hey, I wanted to ask Cameron a question about something he said last week.
Oh, dang.
Oh, and by the way, please tell Jackson I was tickled to death that he answered the phone. I got to talk to him. But anyway, Cameron, last week you said that in your past you had done something for Jeff Sessions?
I had. I was counsel for him on the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Okay. So, have you or seen him or heard from him or anything? Because he kind of fell off the radar.
He went to the beach in South Alabama and had fun with his grandkids. That's what he did. I mean, he did not. He is not dead. He is enjoying. Yeah, we don't have to McConnell this. He's enjoying retirement, and no, we haven't spoken recently, but he's doing well by all accounts that I can tell.
Okay, I just wonder because again, I hadn't heard from him. I always liked Jeff. He's pretty down to earth. Said what he thought.
Well, I love working for him because he was a great man. Like his character was very high, and he just, he wasn't a great politician. Like, and I love guys like that. I love guys that, when you're around them, you're like, hey, you're like a normal person. And he was.
And what was saddest to me is that a good man, not a good politician, got into a great role as Attorney General and got chewed up as a result because so many people were so angry that Donald Trump won that election.
Yeah, well, they did not want him to. I mean, when he recused himself and said, hey, I can't be involved in this, it was the right legal call. But, man, that was professionally really tough.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I just wondered. I've not heard from him, and I like him a lot. I wish he would come back into the scene.
Senator Sessions is a good fella. He got a lot of bad rap for that, too. There were some people a lot of Trump supporters that wanted him to remain in charge of all of that and immediately dismissed the trial. I think Donald Trump got vindicated in all of that just fine. Thank you very much. One could argue that it stymied the first year of his term. Jeff Sessions, sadly, could not do a lot about it because he did involve himself in the political campaign. And through that involvement in the political campaign, he did have interactions with several of the individuals that were unjustly and unfortunately accused of some of that malfeasance. But anyway, that's just kind of water under the bridge. 615-737-9986. Back after this. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. You know Shane Ring. You know Cover Nash. You know these guys are trusted resources when it comes to your health insurance. And if you've not made yourself available to make the call, what are you waiting on? If you are uninsured, if you are insured in a way that you don't believe is working for you or your family, if you are paying too much, or if you are self-employed, or if you just don't know, make the call that others have made to Shane Ring and Cover Nash because he is your go-to resource. Friends, if your deductibles have gone up over 2026 and you don't know why, if you're sadly and just patiently waiting on open enrollment, Shane advises you that this is not the way to go. You can get something done before open enrollment begins, and you do so with a telephone call, 615-465-0023. 615-465-0023 or go online to covernash.com. Covernash.com. Shane Ring and Cover Nash. They want health coverage at your fingertips, managed by you, not by the government. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for United Structural Systems. Folks, have you made the call? Many people move into new homes and they don't know whether or not they are just in a time powder keg, right? Because if you've got structural issues in your home, or maybe you've been living there for a time and you're just kind of whistling past the graveyard, you need to handle those situations. You need to handle those issues. Handle them early and it'll cost you less money. That's what the mantra at USS. And it doesn't cost you a single thing to get them out to your house to make sure that your foundation, your waterproofing issues, they are a thing of the past or they don't exist at all. It's nice. It gives you peace of mind to get that thumbs up. And if there is something wrong, they'll fix it jiffy quick. That's what it's all about at USS, United Structural Systems. For over 30 years, they've been providing comfort and peace of mind to the people of Middle Tennessee. And in that length of time, they've satisfied over 30,000 customers. And you could be the next one. USSTN.com is the website. USSTN.com. Go there and tell them Matt Murphy sent you to United Structural Systems. Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about U.S. Pest. Pest control is so essential to a nice life in your home, right? And if you don't have it, those bugs, they're going to take advantage of it. And they do it all the time. We've heard time and time again in and around Tennessee. I mean, these Tennessee bugs are tenacious. They will not stop. They'll get into your home. They'll get on your property, whether it's roaches or fleas or ticks or fire ants. We were talking fire ants yesterday with a caller. They'll get in there if you let them. U.S. Pest will not let them. They provide a barrier of protection for you and your family in your home. They do it every single day. Now, U.S. Pest is a wonderful company to work with. They're a great company to work for. If you're looking for work, they're hiring always at U.S. Pest. Plus, they can provide the 100% satisfaction that you want in terms of pest control at your home. If you don't have a pest service right now, call U.S. Pest. If you do have a pest service right now, call U.S. Pest. Unless it's U.S. Pest, in that case, call them and thank them for everything that they do for our community. USPest.com, USPest.com, or 590-1260. 590-1260. J.K. and Erica Brister, they love the United States of America, and they hate bugs at U.S. Pest. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. AI is a frightening thing. Jackson is working on your first political ad. Jackson, I say. Cameron, Jackson, let's do it again. Jackson. Yes. Cameron is working on your first political ad.
Yeah, I'm working on a campaign jingle too. And I mean, I've got 20 minutes and I think I can do it.
You think you can get it done?
I think I can.
We need, if we're going to have Jackson speaking for himself, I need it a little higher register and I need it real Southern.
Mm-hmm.
I need gravitas.
Jackson says he needs gravitas.
Well, it's just the campaign jingle. We could see.
Okay, the campaign jingle, let that roll, baby. Let that roll. We can work on the other stuff. 615-737-9986. Where are you on flock cameras? Sorry, I know you're busy over there working on campaign stuff for Jackson Williams.
It is a difficult one for me because I am very free market And so, hey, this is a company that's come up with an idea and is putting something together. This is ripe for abuse.
Mm-hmm.
It is not something that I love. And I understand privacy law. I understand, when you're in public, you don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy. But the fact that AI can now survey so much and it's so ripe for abuse, I kind of hate it.
To me, this isn't about privacy anymore. It's about surveillance.
That's fair.
And yes, I agree that if I'm out in public, I don't have a reasonable expectation that at any given moment, someone will be able to see what I'm doing.
Right.
But this is about being able to surveil my comings and goings.
So that is an important distinction, and it really hasn't been debated in privacy law because it hasn't been a thing, right?
And now it is.
And I think that's a big difference. This is more like China.
Yes.
And I do not like that.
No. So the distinction that I make, because I have not had an issue with, and a lot of my libertarian friends wag their finger at me and say, you're not being a very good libertarian, Matt, and I get it, that I don't have a problem with LPRs, license plate readers. But this is license plate reading on steroids.
Yeah.
And at very least, license plate reader technology, as I understood it 6 months ago or a year ago, was that we're just allowing a computer to process input, and it's just putting inputs right over here until such time that you or I, Cameron, we go to that computer and we say, hey, we need you to look for this very specific thing. And then the computer goes over there to the corner where it stored all this information. Oh, yeah, we saw that. So you have to do a proactive input of specific information in order to draw from the data. And then the data gets purged with regularity. That's one thing. It's another thing to do this blanket style surveillance by which we allow artificial intelligence to decide whether or not your comings and goings are suspicious. And that's where I start having a lot of trouble with these flock cameras. I think I'm changing my position on all of this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it. I just don't like it. And I don't know whether I'm willing to say we should ban it as a matter of law. What I am willing to say is I think we should ban government use of it.
Well, and here's another aspect to it. The supporters of flock with government, use would suggest, well, we're using modern techniques and modern technologies to catch the bad guys. I don't know that there's anything that they can do with these flocks that they can't already do with other technology that's available. It's pardon me, it's harder to work. They've got to work a little bit harder. I've got the sneezes today. I think it's because of Jackson.
So this is where I do support law enforcement in the sense of they got to do their job. I want to be able to do it safely. This is different than that. This is now we are taking it a step further, and we are just making it easy for them to have access to systems of mass surveillance. Let's be clear what they are. And I just say no to that, because there's nothing about that enhances the safety of the officer, if that makes sense.
Right.
This is about, I'm just going to watch.
Right. And whereas LPRs, I could tell you that with enough money, the police could do the same thing individually that they can do with the LPRs. The flock technology and the AI technology involved in flock is way advanced and far more than officers on the beat can do. And if the police departments tell me, well, that's going to make our job harder.
Okay.
I don't want to make your job harder, but I have to. Every day there is a natural and good tension between freedom and liberty and security. And we need to make sure that tension doesn't pull us to one side or the other regarding this issue. And, it was Benjamin Franklin that said that those that choose the security over the freedom deserve nor receive neither. I'm paraphrasing him, of course. But the point is that I just believe that this swings that pendulum way too far in the way of quote-unquote security, and it's at the risk of a surveillance state. In the meantime, Ernie is next up on the Matt Murphy Show. Hello, Ernie. How are you?
Good evening, Matt. Changing the subject just a little.
Well, that's all
in
good.
regards to Marcus advertisement there that was against her. I'm a Monty guy, but I know I don't think he's got a chance. I think I'm still going to vote for him. Yeah, I'm going to vote for him. But the opioid crisis, I know it's a horrible thing. It's killed a lot of people. But when I get up of a morning, if I didn't take one in about 2 hours, take another one, I wouldn't be able to go. My doctor gives them to me from VA, and it's a good thing if you don't abuse it. Just like your Jack Daniels. Well, there is some similarity there, but
love it.
I think they're painting with a wide brush there. I didn't even know what all that bullshit was, all that bull crap was going on.
I gotta. It's just a little rule we got, Mr. Ernie, and I'm sorry to do it, but if you lay down the cuss, I gotta let you go. But I appreciate the sentiment to your call.
Well, the good news for Mr. Ernie is while he was saying that, I finished the first draft of Jackson Williams for governor ad. I haven't listened to the audio, so I'm going to post it blind.
Okay.
On the X machine.
Okay.
I tagged you.
All right, you're going to tag me. I'm going to
tag Jackson. And for the uninitiated, I used hashtag TNPolitics.
Okay.
And you can use it.
Look, it was just 6 seconds long.
Yeah, it's short.
But this is just the start, though. Hey, Jay Willie, you're looking good. Oh, look, volunteers is misspelled, I think. VOLUN.
No, it's
TEE. Is that how to spell volunteer?
I think there's an A in it. A lot of tears.
How the hell do you spell volunteers?
Now you got me second guessing it.
I don't think that's right. Jackson, how do you spell volunteers?
That is correct. That is correct. I thought it was correct.
VOLS, go Vols, go.
Well, I have no idea.
I look old as hell.
Oh, you look good. No, you've been very distinguished. Let's take a listen.
I'm Jackson Williams, and I'm running for governor of Tennessee. I believe Coach Hoople can get it done, and so can we. I'm Jackson Williams, and I'm running for governor of Tennessee. I believe Coach Hoople can get it done, and so can we.
Okay.
That's how a politician would pronounce that, by the way.
Okay.
This is great.
Who's the old fella?
That's you, man.
It's like that's Jackson's uncle.
Right.
I look older than Matt.
And that's old.
But look at that tie, man.
Dude, we're trying to make you a little more distinguished. This is just
what
the
if
first
I told
draft.
y'all I had a tie that looked a lot like that?
You probably the AI knows. And so, we're good. The campaign manager, Matt Murphy, can shine off. Again, hashtag TNPolitics, or you can go look at Matt's Twitter or mine or X.
At Matt Murphy Show.
Or at D. Cameron Smith. Yeah. And you just tweet it, get it out there. We gotta shake up this race, and I think we can do it. Campaign jingle's almost done, by the way. In the next break, I will listen to it and make sure it's newsworthy, but then we'll get it out there.
Can you feed into the algorithm that we need this voice to sound more like a Southern grandma and less like a dude? Jackson, how would you describe how the voice needed to sound?
Gravitas.
Okay, well, here you go with your gravitas.
I'm Jackson Williams, and I'm running for governor of Tennessee. I believe Coach Hoople can get it done, and so can we.
Coach Hoople. That's my I don't know why that makes me tickle. It's 10 till the top of the hour. Jingle coming up for Jackson. Boy, we're doing this in real time, folks, on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Kevin Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, the rest of the team, they are here for you folks. They don't want you to hurt, But if you hurt, there's an option for you. It doesn't involve pills. It doesn't involve surgery. It doesn't involve having to go get pain blockers. God forbid. Let's get a natural solution going through the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They've been doing this a long time. They offer their Pain is Bad $33 off Epic Spinal Special for their spinal decompression. This has my seal of approval because of the advancements in technologies that Dr. Kevin has made over the years at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, to include his brand new Medical Bay 1, the hydrowave technology that they brought in recently to make sure that they have every opportunity for you to heal faster, heal better, and hurt less. And that's what it's all about. 615-246-5009 is the number, 615-246-5009, or go to painisbad.com, painisbad.com. Wherever you might be hurting, your neck, your knees, your hips, your elbows, wherever it is, they can assist you at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Allow them to do that with you. Will you? They have my seal of approval. Painisbad.com or 615-246-5009. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Is that Wally for me? Is that our Wally? Bean machine, bean machine, bean machine, bean machine. What's up, Wally?
Hey, how are y'all guys doing?
Pretty good. You doing all right?
I'm good, man. I was just listening, and I was thinking of a campaign slogan. How about Action Jackson moving us forward with gravitas?
That's pretty good.
I like it.
What do you think about that, their candidate, Jackson?
I like it. I approve that message.
Young Jackson approves of that message, Wally. I like that. Hey, Wally, if you become our, will you be on the team? Will you be our official coffee provider of the Jackson Williams for Governor campaign?
Without a doubt. I just got to come up with a coffee name for the machine now.
Okay.
Ground with gravitas.
He likes the word gravitas a lot.
A lot, yes. That's going to be central within the campaign.
I love it. I love it. Whatever you need. Wally is here. Whatever you need, guys.
Appreciate it.
Love it, Wally. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother.
Okay.
Are you sending it over?
I got 5 minutes left, and it's out. The Jackson Williams for Governor, I just tweeted it at you.
All right.
You should be able to play it. There's no profanity. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm coming. I'm coming with it. Here we go. Here's Jackson. Let's see if we approve of this campaign jingle. Stand by. Got to get over here to the whatever this is. Suno?
Yep, that's it.
All right, you ready, Jackson? This is our first draft. We're doing this in real time. We're kind of game planning it, and here we go.
Jackson Williams, he's our guy. From the hills where the Hawks still fly. He loves the Vols, life champions they are. Bear of a man, and he'll take us far. Jackson Williams for governor. Jackson Williams, hear that thunder. He loves Tennessee, loves Tennessee. Jackson Williams, let's be free. Probably won't, but maybe might show you his butt without a fight. Not much fuss, just hard and grit. Not too smart, doesn't give a poo. Jackson Williams for governor. Jackson Williams, hear that thunder. He loves Tennessee, loves Tennessee. Jackson Williams, lead us free.
Wow.
There you go.
That's something else.
And they said it couldn't be done.
Hey, that happened in less than 30 minutes. So imagine what we can do if we actually get a couple of I don't know,
any amount of time
to figure it out. There's a lot of things that I like about that, Jackson. I think it's a good beginning.
It's a good start.
It's a good start. I particularly like the verse, probably won't, but maybe might show you his butt without a fight. Jackson threatens to moon me all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And so I like, it's kind of an inside joke, but if you know Jackson, it's not really because he'll threaten to moon you too.
Right.
So there you go. I'm down with every bit of that.
Yeah. We've got it. It's covered. Go check hashtag TN Politics. You can listen to it. We need suggestions, various themes, slogans. To build this campaign from the ground up, we're really going to need your support. So hashtag TN Politics.
That's right.
Chime in. Let's go.
Yeah, hashtag TN Politics is very important. And follow me, follow Cameron, at Matt Murphy Show, at D. Cameron Smith. 1733 finishes the show out by saying, glad you're finally opening your eyes to flock cameras. I brought this up to you at the Glock store, and you were just humoring me. But now you're taking it seriously. Next will be data centers. The flock cameras are storing their information in those data centers. Flock cameras and data centers are two different things. I have never been in favor of flock cameras. I have offered some tepid support for LPRs, particularly in crime-prone areas, but flock cameras and LPRs are two very, very different things. As far as data centers go, you text messaged me this on your phone. Meaning that you utilized a data center in order to do so. So are you pro-data center or are you anti-data center?
That's the column. I wrote a column about don't freak out about data centers.
Maybe that is the column. Somebody said they hated your latest column. Was that the latest column?
That would probably be it.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of reasons to hate Cameron Smith, but we appreciate him on the Matt Murphy Show. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Jackson. I feel like we've unofficially launched the campaign for governor.
It's on, like Donkey Kong.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow for a Thursday edition. Until then, for Ken Weaver, for Jackson Williams, Cameron Smith, and the rest of the crew, Matt Murphy speaking and saying, have a wonderful evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.